Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. How about the AFC South? Division of Champions? All four teams won in Week 5. The Jacksonville Jaguars pulling off a last-second victory against the visiting Kansas City Chiefs last night. It was not the prettiest win, but there's a couple of different things to pull out of that context that's important as we talk about how far the Titans have to go to kind of reach maybe 4-1 aren't the heights of professional football for a team like the Jags, the Colts, but that's kind of who you're chasing. And with the Texans starting to look like they're going to get right, I don't know how sustainable that is, given the level of competition that they've faced in the last couple of weeks, but it is worth talking about for sustainability purposes. Is what the Titans did in Arizona actually sustainable? Or is it going to be like last year where you beat the Dolphins and then you lose, and you beat the Texans and then you lose even worse to the Commanders? Or is it something that we can actually look at and say, okay, they did this right and they built upon it this way and it was successful in these certain terms? For the Jags, I don't know if they're good by the standard definition of NFL, the best teams in the NFL, but who are, through 5 weeks, the best teams in the NFL? The two undefeateds lost over the weekend. You saw Philadelphia lose to Denver. The Patriots beat the Bills at home at this point. Does the playing field feel any more level heading into Week 6 than it did at the start of the season? I'm not sure, but I'm curious to see how, in particular, these two AFC South teams are going to do.
When's the last time the AFC South went 4-0 in a weekend?
Well, Certainly not for the last 10 weekends, prior to this weekend, given the Titans circumstance.
No, it didn't happen at any point last year. So, yeah, the last time that all 4 AFC South opponents were playing 4 different teams and all 4 of them won. I'm just going to keep backtracking here.
Just keep digging.
NFL Jesus database.
You might be there for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
years.
worth it. Is Trevor Lawrence a good quarterback? Because his interception last night was an egregious missed pass interference call on the Chiefs. And I thought that he handled it, I thought he handled the situation fine. He ends up 18 of 25, 221. He had the passing touchdown. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had the interception. He had 10 attempts for 54 yards. They were using his legs frequently. He was trying to make plays frequently that way, including the game-winning touchdown, which, Robert, I called it the most unathletic touchdown I've seen this year because he looked like a baby giraffe, but you pushed back on that in no uncertain terms because he had to be some level of athletic to be able to recover after he fell down, get up, and then run it in.
Yeah, he rolled out there. The rest of us, all us regulars, would have tripped, and it would have been a 2-yard loss.
Lucas would have come up with a high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm. Lucas would be questionable for next week's game.
I feel like we're going to be asking that question, is Trevor Lawrence a good NFL quarterback, for the entirety of his career? At some point, that's just who he is. This is who he is. Uber talented, that's going to be making head-scratching mistakes all over the place, that's going to have people on one side saying he's terrible, that's going to have Jags fans still believing, and he's going to be doing things that keep them believing. But at some point, we have to stop asking that question, is he a good quarterback, and just realize that he is just that kind of player for the entirety of his career where people will have that debate from beginning until end.
Who's the most recent example of that? Kyler?
Who is it?
833 number. That's got to be spam, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, how do I get my watch to stop ringing? My phone's on silent anyway.
There was is Joe Flacco elite conversation, but nobody would dispute that Joe Flacco, he was obviously a good quarterback.
He had an elite Super Bowl run that resulted in him being an MVP, but his career was not something that you would describe as elite. I guess it's still ongoing.
Yeah, Kyler could be that. Is Kyler Murray a good quarterback? Is he an upper-tier quarterback in the NFL? I think you could have a ton of differing opinions. I think that's going to be the case for Trevor Lawrence for the majority of his career. Which means that at this rate, he's probably not ever going to live up to the insanely lofty expectations that were placed on him, which were almost Hall of Fame caliber, generational. That's a word that was used on him. A ton coming out. Also, just watching that game last night, how many players do the Jags have that were just awesome in college, that were the best players on their team? Trevor, obviously. Travis Hunter was fantastic last night on both sides of the ball. Devin Lloyd, who had the 99-yard pick six. By the way, the simulated pressure from the Jags front, the way Lloyd faked the blitz and then dropped and just right into his arms. Devin Lloyd was one of the best defensive players in college football during his time at Utah. Awesome playing linebacker for the Utes. Brian Thomas Jr. at LSU, Travis Etienne. They've got so many guys, Josh Allen, that were absolute stars for their respective college team. And, they've worked out to varying degrees of success. But it's just something that it struck me while watching that game yesterday.
So I did find the last time the entire AFC collectively AFC South went 4-0. It was week 8 of 2019. The Jaguars beat the Jets 29-15. The Titans beat the Buccaneers 27-23. The Colts beat the Broncos 15-13, and the Texans beat the Raiders 27-24.
There you go.
ChatGPT also says the only other occurrences that it could find of this happening were in 2007 when it happened in Week 5 and Week 15.
Do you remember that Bucs game? I do. That was a part of Jameis's 30-plus touchdown, 30-plus interception season.
Before the LASIK.
Yeah.
Yeah, Titans rallied in the fourth quarter to win that
game. Brett Kern got his head taken off by Devin White. There was a rally, you are correct, but Jameis Winston gifted them the game on a goal line sequence because him and Brashad Perriman were trying to execute like a jet sweep concept or something like that, and they just fumbled the snap. Titans recovered.
Logan Ryan had an interception to seal that game.
Dang it, you looked it up. I was going to ask if you can name the two former Patriots.
Two former Patriots.
To nab an interception off Jameis.
In that game?
Yes, there was one other.
Oh, would have been Butler, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That was a crazy game. That's 2019. That's a long time ago for all four teams in this particular division. AFC South looks like it's got a bit more teeth than I think we were treating it with. But again, it is impressive that Liam Cohen, as a first-year coach, has his team playing with a 4-1 start. But it's less to me about Trevor Lawrence than it is about that defense. They're leading the league in takeaways. They were great again last night. That Devin Lloyd pick six was nuts from the goal line. I mean, housed it. It's such a cheat code to have a defense that's just going to give you more opportunities. And it's not the most important thing. The quarterback is the most important problem to solve at any given point. But if you have a defense like what they have in Denver or like what Jacksonville is currently putting out there right now, Green Bay, when it's at its best with Micah Parsons and everything else that they've got there, just to get teams off the field and give you another opportunity to come away with points or at least to bleed clock, whatever the case may be. It's such a cheat code in the NFL. What do you got, Robert?
A stat from for the Jaguars. Devin Lloyd leads the league in interceptions, interception yards, interception touchdowns, and the longest interception of the season with 99, which I don't think will be broken, maybe tied.
Yeah, it'd be tough. be tough. But it's that Jags defense kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, the secondary was not a good unit prior to last season. Their pass rush is something that's certainly been talked about. Josh Hines-Allen is a good player, but we've been waiting on blanking on the former number one overall pick. Trayvon Walker to kind of come through that way, and he's still not a hugely impactful player, but they got enough pieces around him.
That's this great irony of it, that they've got all of these guys that were the best players on their college football team, and one of their two number one overall picks on the roster was just kind of a guy at Georgia that they just fell in love with.
And before last year, he had 2 back-to-back seasons of 10 sacks. So, I remember the thought was, I can't remember the guy the Raiders drafted, Cleveland Farrell.
When
they drafted Cleveland Farrell
that was the draft here.
So he ended up being a profitable player for them, but still, we were talking about this earlier, probably not worth the number one overall pick.
He wasn't the number one overall pick, Farrell. Or are you talking about Walker?
Walker.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine, right? But
not when Aiden Hutchinson
is sitting right there as an infinitely more productive player. That's the traits over production example to an extreme. And I don't even know that you could argue that Trayvon Walker had the kind of traits that Aiden Hutchinson had at Michigan. I think that would be a losing argument if you tried to make that case. But the Jags, it's not like Trent Baalke was ever regarded as the best executive in football, and certainly did not make too many other good decisions beyond that. But they flipped that roster pretty quickly under James Gladstone, and they've got a playoff team.
Man, imagine what Aiden Hutchinson, if that had been the pick those years ago.
With Josh Hines-Allen and Aiden Hutchinson.
So much better on that front. But they'd be undefeated if they didn't give up a second-half comeback to Jake Browning in week 2. That's the game Joe Burrow got injured in. Jags had a lead. They were up in the fourth quarter or nearing the end of the third quarter, and then Jake Browning just rallied.
That was the Travis Hunter phantom PI on Jamar Chase that put them down the field, that let them kick that, I believe, game-winning field goal.
He came up with a big catch last night, Travis Hunter, to help them seal that game. And he got beaten. Was it Xavier Worthy that ran by him? That he needed. By the way, Andrew Wingard out there still playing professional football is an insanity to me.
Total glue guy.
That guy has been around for 100 years, and he's still back there roaming around in the Jags secondary. I crack up every time I see that last name on that jersey. So the playoff standings, if you're keeping an eye on such things, October is a bit early, but we understand we're now through 5 weeks of football. The number one overall seed would be the Indianapolis Colts, which is kind of crazy. Then the Bills, the Steelers, and the Chargers. Those are the current division leaders. The wild card teams would be Jacksonville at 4-1, Denver, and the New England Patriots at 3-2.
Just like we all predicted.
Yeah. In the NFC, it's San Fran, Philly, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. Wild card teams would be Green Bay, Seattle, and Minnesota. I wonder how realistic. This feels like something that we would talk about at the halfway point of the season, and it would just completely flip on its head by the time we got to the actual postseason seeding and things like that. Although I haven't looked at the Colts' schedule to see how sustainable this is going to be and what quality their schedule actually is, how quality the rest of the competition on their schedule is. But if the Colts end up as the number 1 overall seed in the AFC, that would be an insanity. Like, that's the thing that not a single person could have had right, even if you thought the Colts were going to be able to win the AFC South this year. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to get involved. By the way, Titans not the worst in the AFC. That distinction belongs to the lowly New York Jets, who have not yet won a game over at this point through 5 weeks of the regular season. The Titans would be the second worst team in the AFC after Cleveland at that point. So let's talk about some college football. It was a fun college football weekend. Lucas is yelling at me before the show started that just because a top 10 team played in a game and lost, that makes a football game a good game. We can debate that coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Best hot chicken in the world. College football was interesting in week 6. The game of the weekend, Florida State-Miami, didn't really, what was touted as the game of the weekend, didn't necessarily hold up that way. It ended up being 28-22, Miami, Florida State with a late push, but not really in that game.
It wasn't even remotely as close as the final indicated.
Future Titans legend Ruben Bain looks pretty good out there.
Malachi Toney, man, he's still got a few years, but he is the new, what is it with these true freshman receivers lately? My goodness. Last year was obviously Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams. Now it's Malachi Toney, just winning people over. He is unbelievable. This Miami team is for real.
So where do you want to start? Because Vandy, obviously, with an opportunity, many opportunities to go down to Tuscaloosa and take that game away, but obviously that did not play out. 30-14 in favor of the Crimson Tide, though, again, the late score blew that open, made the final score look a little worse than it actually was.
Late cover by Alabama. We talked about this game. Vanderbilt, we said, just go into the fourth quarter with a one-possession game. They did that. It was 20-14. But, yeah, red zone turnovers just doing Vanderbilt in. They directly lead to 2 Alabama touchdowns. You're talking about a first-half driving to go up 14-0 deep into the red zone, and Diego Pavia fumbles the football. And then in the second half, down 20-14, a chance to go down and take the lead, and Diego Pavia throws an interception near the goal line. Alabama converts them both into long scoring drives, and then Bama was up for this one. Like, the trash talk after the game was substantial. Like, Alabama players calling Diego Pavia the feared B word after the game into cameras. Alabama fans, like grown men. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah.
When Diego Pavia is going into the locker room, like berating Diego Pavia.
I mean, why is that a surprise, though?
I know. And
also, he's 25.
What?
Like,
fair enough.
I don't, because there's a Vandy player behind Pavia or some guy who's not dressed out.
He's a kid.
He's a kid. I'm like, my brother. Like, he 25.
All right. What do we make of, because we all were on the same page. We've loved the Pavia moxie, the talk the whole way. What do we make of the pregame during warm-ups? Did you see this? Where he
the
practices victory formation and then throws the ball up in the air and the whole deal. A little much?
Yeah, for sure.
A little much.
I mean, but like, what I'm not going to do is love Diego Pavia for who Diego Pavia is and then find one thing to nitpick it about. Like, it's not beyond the pale that he would do something like that. Is it a bit performative, a little extra? Sure. So is having Johnny Manziel on the sidelines as your mentor.
Giving double birds to Bama fans. Like, Johnny's still acting like he's in college. Like,
well,
dude, you are a grown man.
Yeah, I'm more, listen, Manziel, well-documented issues. Johnny Manziel is probably not going to want for much, even though he's not had the kind of career that he probably wanted.
Act like a frat guy.
No, I know.
Talking to people.
But, like, I think what was more cringy about the entire situation was not Pavia practicing victory formation. It was the entire presence of Johnny Manziel on the Vanderbilt sideline. Also, by the way, from the Vanderbilt sideline, tweeting criticisms of the Vanderbilt defense. Like, did you see this? He's online while the game is going on being like,
oh, yeah.
You're just going to play cover 2 the whole time?
What is Vandy doing? Yeah, that was pretty funny.
It's like, go down there and suggest something, bud.
Dude, they are your ride, as Theo Vaughn said. They're my ride.
An upset, Robert, that Johnny Manziel was able to identify cover 2 for all his struggles in the NFL.
Have you guys seen the reality show he's on for Fox?
Nope. No.
It is Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. Dwight Howard, Cam Newton, a bunch of other athletes have done it.
I've seen ads for it. Like, didn't Ray Lewis do it too, or something like that?
Maybe. If he did, I was unaware. So they put them through all these rigorous tests, like run through mustard gas, hold your breath and swim through this, yada, yada, yada. And it's supposed to break you down and build you into a better person, understand what it takes to do these things and the mental aspects. And so I'm assuming it's all filmed already if Johnny Manziel's on the sideline. So I'm glad he learned nothing from this special. It's supposed to teach you respect, not only for yourself, but for other people. And he's just flipping double birds to anybody that'll pay attention.
I mean, to his credit, he's the same guy he's always been. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's probably not a great thing, but, you know.
So we went into this asking the question, can Vanderbilt prove that they are college football playoff worthy? Did they?
Yes.
I think they did.
Yes.
I think the 30-14 scoreline makes it look a lot more lopsided than it was. Alabama didn't need to run in a 20-yard touchdown from Jam Miller with 17 seconds left on the clock. I get it. Diego Pavia was bringing the juice. He was talking all week long. I'm not going to blame Alabama for trying to run it up just a little bit there towards the end. But I understand you can't do this, and it's a credit to the Alabama defense for forcing these things. But if you are to remove those 2 red zone turnovers, and even if they don't result in touchdowns for Vanderbilt and just field goals, it's a huge swing. A huge swing. 14 of those 30 Alabama points came off of those turnovers, cashing in. Now, they had to put together those drives. I understand it's not that simple. But to see Vanderbilt physically go toe-to-toe with Alabama, running the football the way they did, especially in that first half, Vandy averaged 7.6 yards per carry. And at some point in the fourth quarter, they can't really rely on the run game as much. But Cedric Alexander broke that 65-yarder, and I know that inflates the numbers a little bit on that touchdown in the first quarter to take the lead. But I came away thinking, all right, man, this Vanderbilt, you look down their schedule, that loss isn't going to remove me from saying that those games are all winnable for Vanderbilt.
LSU and Texas are
Especially
absolutely winnable.
Yeah, exactly. With how LSU and Texas have looked this year.
So ESPN does this weekly if the playoff were today thing, and they did it. They put a new one out this morning, just kind of bubble watch, essentially, for some programs. We're far enough into the college football season that we can start to have these conversations halfway through. Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M. 6 SEC teams in that situation would make the playoff. LSU is the fringe. LSU is the biggest fringe program right now. And then Missouri and Vanderbilt are in a category of work to do. Do we agree? I mean, obviously we agree with that. The work for Vanderbilt to do would be able to acquit themselves well. And, I mean, do they have to win out to make the playoff? Probably, given the nature of the rest of the SEC field.
You could see a scenario for 10-2.
If so, which would be in their, I'm not going to say in their best interest to drop, but which could they afford to drop the most? Texas, LSU, or Tennessee?
The question there is what would be the highest quality loss? And because they're on the road at Tennessee.
Feels like Tennessee.
I would say Tennessee. They host LSU, and Texas right now is we'll talk about it, but my goodness, they are so far away from the expectations preseason. So I would say Tennessee, but we also have to see if Tennessee slips up and what that looks like going into that game. But yes, I think Vanderbilt proved that they are a CFP-worthy team. Doesn't mean that I'm predicting them to go to the playoff, but they physically, for most of this game, went toe-to-toe with Alabama, and 2 or 3 plays decide most every game in these scenarios, and the 2 red zone turnovers did that for Vanderbilt. By the way, three of the preseason top 5 are no longer in the AP top 25. Can you name them?
Penn State. Texas didn't drop all the way out, did they?
Sure did.
Okay. Who am I missing there?
Clemson.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who?
I have forgotten about Clemson, but North Carolina.
North Carolina. Wow, that looks like a disaster right
Robert,
now.
what is the conversation like down there? Because you sent us that North Carolina is not posting anything about Drake May's success in the NFL right now. That's so funny to me.
Even better, they had a concert. I had his name and I just forgot it. I think it was Ludacris, but I can't remember.
It was Ludacris.
Okay,
yeah. They got 10 a.m.
So they booked Ludacris for this UNC Clemson game, and under the assumption that it would be a 4:30 kick, a late kick, a night game. Ludacris goes on stage at 10 a.m. on Franklin Street, which is like their bar street. And he said, "This is the earliest concert I have ever done in my entire life." So they also had a basket.
They got a good crowd, though? Like, were people there to see Ludacris?
Oh, yeah. They're great tailgating school. They're going to be out there in droves to tailgate. They also had a basketball scrimmage yesterday, so everyone got a great day of UNC. Go see Ludacris, go to He's Not, and then go check out a basketball scrimmage. I don't see what the big deal was, what everybody complaining about.
Yeah, the student section was notably absent.
They just don't have good players, man.
Apparently, UNC students have taken to DMing and emailing Jordan to try to rip her away from Belichick's clutches to fix their school. They are trying to perform, quote, loyalty tests to see if they can get her to come to parties, to go to bars.
No.
They're doing anything they can to usurp that woman or usurp Bill Belichick either way.
To save the program.
Who did I see? Was there another like older coach or longer in the tooth coach that had a big win this weekend? Because I saw people tweeting that Jordan Hudson was going to leave Bill Belichick for another coach this weekend, and I can't remember if it was just a meme or something.
No, not Jerry Neuheisel. He's far too young. By the way, watching him get carried off the field on that UCLA win, incredible stuff. Like wholesome, the whole deal. Rick Neuheisel's reaction.
You didn't think it was a little bit much
in the CBS studios? No, I loved it.
Really?
I loved it. And I was also laughing out loud. It's just the way the camera cut to it. Like Penn State gets stopped on that 4th down, and then camera cuts to Jerry Neuheisel being carried off the sideline, both arms in the air, mouth wide open, yelling, screaming. I mean, and he just has that baby face. It looks like they're carrying a ball boy off the sideline. It was so funny.
It's insane.
It was awesome. I mean, think about the week that he's had. Like, he spoke after the game. He said he didn't even know how to get the headset on right to have the mic on. He couldn't figure out the mic.
Do we have that audio in the Twitter group? Because I think that's worth hearing, especially given Vols fans. I think Vols fans were seeking that game out on a bye week to hate watch Nico Iamaleava and see what nasty things they could put out on Twitter.
It's in there for
or
sure.
Something like that. Robert, if it's convenient for you at some point, I do think it would be worth hearing.
You don't have to scroll up too far. But Nico was phenomenal in this game, by the way.
He was pretty tough, especially with his legs. Let's hear from Jerry Neuheisel before we move on here. The interim head coach of the UCLA.
No. Offensive coordinator.
Interim offensive coordinator of the UCLA Bruins.
But all things you learn from. Like, I hate to say this, but I had never practiced with the headset in terms of, like, the button to talk to the quarterback. So there's, like, multiple times during the game I'm calling the play, but the headset's flipped up because I'm used to being a position coach. And then all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong part of the button trying to talk to him. Like, it was a mess. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up by next week. But just one of those days. It just all kind of fell into place.
Amazing. He looks and sounds exactly like Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, it is uncanny. It's like he's his son or something. Nico is always at his best when he's running around, when he's using his legs. Like, didn't we talk about, how much did we talk about that last year? Man, they got to get Nico on the run a little bit. And it was almost weird. He didn't want to say it, but it was almost like, get him to take a couple of hits and get him involved and get him
like
in the game.
We did say that at some point last year.
That's when Nico, those awful first halves, it was like he would get his bell rung or run for a couple of first downs, and then finally he would hit a groove and start hitting these open receivers. Man, he ran all over the place, averaged 8 yards a carry, 128 yards on 16 carries, 3 rushing touchdowns, 17 of 24 in the air, 166 and 2 touchdowns. And Penn State just in a hole, 27-7 at halftime, just got punched in the mouth. Dozens of people watching at the Rose Bowl as Penn State went crashing down after that double OT loss against Oregon. And the discussion up there about James Franklin has to be especially toxic this week. I got to say, I enjoyed this. I liked this. I know that I have enjoyed the Nico, the entire situation.
The downfall. Say you pray on his downfall. Say you wish nothing but bad things on your enemies or the enemies of the Vols.
Well,
we all know it's true. You've never looked as happy as you were at the idea that Nico Iamaleava might transfer to Kentucky so you could whip his ass later in the year.
Sometimes when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and I think it's good for there to be certain consequences. But ultimately, I also just wanted Tennessee to win the trade, right? And they've won the trade. Like, that ship has sailed. Nico is still obviously an uber talented player. And so it was pretty cool. This is one of the stories of the season in college football. They fired Tino Sinceri this past week, who was the offensive coordinator, handed the keys to Jerry Neuheisel, who has been there, by the way, under multiple coaching staffs. He was Kyle Phillips' wide receivers coach when he was at UCLA. And for them to just run the ball, number one, 280 rush yards. UCLA hasn't been able to block anybody all season. And to run for 280 and 3 touchdowns on Penn State is an embarrassment. It's embarrassing for Penn State, who's out of the playoff picture. That's it. They're done. They're toasted. They would have to win out. That doesn't even look remotely likely. And my question is, does this give them some sort of bailout for the James Franklin discussion, right?
Like moving on?
Like, does this give them a reason better than well, he can't beat Ohio State and win championships.
Well, yeah, this is an infinitely better reason to make a move as far as your coach than he can't compete with the top of your conference, or that he has competed against the top of your conference. Because it's not like Ohio State completely washed them out, right? We're talking about the times that James Franklin has played Michigan, Ohio State, whatever the case may be, like ranked opponents.
No,
he
they've just found a way to lose.
Doesn't get drummed that way. It's a much easier thing to be like, yeah, he's losing games that he shouldn't lose. This is checkers, not chess type of situation. Now he's losing to the teams that he should be that he is heavily favored over. Sure, we'll make a move here and we'll try and upgrade our coach in the meantime and get us back to a level of competitiveness. Also, Drew Aller's not good.
That's the other thing.
What do I do with Drew Aller?
Well, you know who is good?
The transfer?
Bo Pribula.
Yeah.
At Missouri is good. And he plays Alabama. That's a whole new challenge this week. 11 a.m. kickoff. We'll see what happens. But it's really hard about halfway through the season, if you're a Penn State fan, not to look at that situation and say, we kept the wrong guy. I think James Franklin's buyout is in the neighborhood of $50 million, which used to be astronomical. And
Not
now
anymore.
But it for so long, it was just the truest test of a program's standards, right? The whole James Franklin conundrum. It was like Mark Richt at Georgia. Like, okay, what are your standards? Show us. And Georgia, to their credit, said, no, our standard is championships. They fired Mark Richt, and they got there with Kirby Smart. For Penn State, that's been the discussion. Okay, what's the standard? It's the truest test of that for a guy that just wins 10 games a year and makes a semifinal, a quarterfinal, but just can't get over that hump and win that game. Well, now he's lost the game that he was supposed to win by multiple scores, the thing that he has done as consistently as anybody in college football. What does it look like from here for Penn State, who was supposed to be a bona fide playoff team? This was supposed to be the year, the best year of the James Franklin era.
How bad do we think Indiana's going to lose to Oregon this weekend, at Oregon?
No, you guys got it, buddy. You guys will definitely win. There's no way you guys are going to lose. No way you get embarrassed in Eugene. There's no way you guys go over there and just lay an egg.
Who's the best team?
It's impossible for Cigaretti to put out his lit cigarette.
Maybe that's the coach you were thinking of, that UNC fans are trying to pawn Jordan Hudson off to.
Signetti?
Yeah. He's not that much younger than Belichick.
No, and he's probably a fox, too.
He's not a spring chicken.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Mr. Krabs without his shell naked like Belichick
I'm sure
does.
It's not far off. I don't want to think about
No, I
Belichick
bet I can
naked.
find a picture of Signetti with his shirt off.
Just going to look like every rec league softball dad you've ever seen. Like, that's just what it's going to be. Is Oregon the best college football team in the country right now? Who is? I don't know the answer to that question. I love that it's this muddled.
I think it might be Miami, but Oregon is a juggernaut. It is a juggernaut.
I don't know how we're not talking more about Oregon. I mean, obviously because they're not the SEC, so we don't spend a tremendous amount of time on Big Ten schools.
It's funny. They beat Penn State in double OT in a whiteout game, and the whole discussion was about James Franklin and Penn State. Yeah, Oregon is a bona fide national championship contender.
Never mind. He looks like those bugs off Men in Black, naked. He's got kind of like a crooked back, but a kind of round belly.
Talking about Signetti?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where did you find Signetti nudes on the internet on a work computer?
It's not a. Don't do that. They're not nudes.
You literally
this is
just
very
said,
tasteful. He's on a boat.
Tasteful.
He's very tasteful.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah. In the back of that car.
Always takes a turn. Do we have things to give away? Do we have things?
God, we do, but I ain't never heard of this band in my whole life, and I ain't got it pulled up. But if it's your kind of music, actually, I'll bump it. No, I can't bump us back. We have imaging. But if you would like to get tickets to go see, come on and load, damn it. If you'd like tickets to go see Bring Me the Horizon.
Yes.
Sounds like a Mulan song. If you'd like to go see Bring Me the Horizon and your opportunity to win a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, you can give us a call, 615-737-1045, and tell us what made you say, oh, no, in sports this week.
615-737-1045. Just like Robert said, a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa and tickets to the Bring Me, what is it?
Bring Me the Horizon. Poison.
That does sound like a Mulan
Does it?
song.
Like she's like riding her horse over, like the sun slowly coming up. She's trying to beat it back to the village.
Hey, Disney soundtracks that slap Mulan.
Oh yeah, they did a great job. Maybe we play Mulan.
Maybe we play Mulan. I'm Buck Reisig. It's 104.5 The Zone. Lake lovers, listen up. Tennessee National Lakefront Resort, Golf, and Marina Community is releasing a brand new phase of Lake Lots, one day only, Saturday, October 18th. You can get a cottage package with a boat slip from $379,900, home sites with 40-mile views, and covered boat slip from $9,900. Move-in ready homes and custom builds, lot sizes up to 7 acres, private golf cart access to a new marina and resort, 10 miles of walking trails, 3.5 miles of shoreline, a brand new 26,000 square foot clubhouse, waterfront concerts, pickleball, pools, on-site coffee shop, and much more. Play on the lake or simply relax at the waterfront restaurant just over 20 minutes from Knoxville, Tennessee. Financing is available, so celebrate the lake life and make memories. This limited property release, Saturday, October 18th. Visit TennesseeNational.com or call 865-408-9992 to secure your private tour. Memories begin here at Tennessee National. Robert, what do they win along with a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa if they call us 615-737-1045 and tell us what in sports made them say, oh no.
You get a pair of tickets to go see Bring the Horizon, which I have found out is not a Mulan sing-along song band. It is a Screamo band. So I have okayed this. Now it is no longer whoever gives us the best Oh No. It is whoever gives us the best Screamo edition of Oh No. My Oh No this week has got to go to... Like that. You got to do it like that.
The Screamo No was right there for you. I thought for sure that was where you were going. The fact that I'm more prepared to make your kind of puns than you are, that's a little disappointing to me. That's my Oh No. 615-737-1045 is right there for you on a platter. Screamo No was right there.
I get it. Usually me.
615-737-1045 is the number.
Eric asks, bro, what is Robert on? The decline, it would seem.
He's washed as he picks up phone calls right now. We'll get to your phone calls here in just a second. I've been hitting the wrong button to put people on hold. That's what that sound is. At Robert's convenience, we had an oh no moment yesterday. So Lucas and I were both surprised to hear Ben Jones, former Titan center, make the revelation that it's not like Ben and Marcus Mariota were the offensive coordinator for the entire 2017 season. But just listen to the second half of this Ben Jones clip that went semi-viral yesterday of him talking about Marcus Mariota and Ben Jones having to call basically the Titans' 2-minute offense every time they were in 2-minute offense because Terry Robisky just wouldn't call plays.
It was to the point where we had other offensive linemen like, why are we running dry? I'm like, guys, I got to block this safety by not pulling a guard. So we're having to figure this out.
You're having to figure that out in real time.
Me and Marcus called the whole second half. Anytime we went no huddle with Robisky, we called every play.
Oh, my goodness.
I remember Robisky saying something to us in a media availability about 80% of the offense is Mariota's legs. And me just looking around and be like, what does that even mean, Terry? Like, can you help explain that to me in a little greater detail? It's just like, yeah, we just let him go. Like, I thought he was joking when he said we just let him go out there and run around a little bit. No, literally, Ben, you're telling me that they would just go out there and run around.
Yeah, we'd sit there and be like, all right, how can we be successful? So we literally would be like, all right, he'd be like, I need a run. And I would just be like, hey, 632. 632 was power right for us. Or, hey, 634 was draw right. Or, hey, if we put the tight end this way, we can run weak zone this way. It was stressful.
It's a miracle, Marcus.
Look at your face.
The fact that Marcus had any level of success that he had here, going from Ken Wisenhunt to this situation is unbelievable.
That Joker studied so hard.
Marcus.
Yes, and he was so dialed in with his receivers. They would have the amount of walkthrough meetings before games to get ready for that 2-minute situation because we were out there defending for ourselves. Everybody else was like, oh, this is great. I'm like, this is not great. You don't understand what you're putting us through right now. This is not great.
Said, you boys have fun.
What? So that is Ben Jones, and he's talking about the second half of the Chiefs' playoff win that they called basically the entire game. Ben Jones with a crazy revelation, one of the craziest Titans stories I've ever heard. It has since been corroborated by several other former Titans players.
Yeah, God bless Marcus Mariota, man.
And Ben Jones.
And Ben, yes. But yes, my goodness. Yeah, that was stunning. Whole video, by the way, is on YouTube for folks to go and watch because Ben also had some interesting things to say about the Titans win and Cameron Ward and what we saw from him. Like and subscribe while you're there, all the things. My oh no is Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, who just continuously seems more and more defeated every time he steps up to the podium. This time, it was after blowing a 17-0 lead at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina storming back to win 27-24 on Sunday. Miami falls to 1-4 on the year. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what the question was here, but I don't think it really matters. This is Mike McDaniel. I believe, I don't know if this was post-game or was it yesterday's press conference. This is Mike McDaniel in a media availability that happened after the Dolphins' loss against the Panthers.
He was really frustrated at the, just like he was as I was, and we talked about the challenge ahead to get ready for the Chargers. and that was kind of the extent of it.
Okay, so Robert informs me it was a question about his conversation, if he had a conversation with Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner.
Oh, no.
That was hard to listen to.
I'm starting to get worried about him, man.
Yeah.
Like, this look is like not like, I don't care anymore. This is depressed. This is like
I'm
beaten
familiar.
down.
I've been at plenty of Brian Callahan press conferences to know that look before. Yes, that is a defeated coach.
Yeah, but I haven't heard that at a head coach's podium.
What, mushmouth?
Yeah, like at some point, just you talk about having run its course. Like, they had some fun moments, man. They really did. Like, a couple of years there where that offense is electric.
We'll always have 70 points on the Broncos.
Points, yeah, obviously can't win in the playoffs, the whole deal, but put the guy out of his misery. My goodness. Like, it's over. It's over in Miami.
I didn't used to hate Tony Romo. I thought Tony was good when he started. When everyone was like, oh, look at him. He's calling plays. He can figure out what they're about to do. Tony has fallen off a cliff. I don't know if it's preparation. I don't know if it's antagonization. I don't know if he just doesn't have what it takes anymore. Here was Tony. He was on the call for the Broncos-Eagles game this week. Here was Tony.
That area, Tony, as Mims is brought down by Bond, who's making some plays on this series.
I can tell you Denver wants him back. He was in Denver's facility, and then all of a sudden somebody grabs him named Vic Fangio, and he comes over to Philadelphia. And now they love him. First team All-Pro. He's just been outstanding.
He's never played for Denver. He came from the Saints.
Yeah.
He was coached by Vic Fangio when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, no.
But he has never been in Denver. Tony, come on, man. It's not that bad.
Haven't there have been stories about, like, Romo kind of slipping a little bit as far as, like, how accurate he is on things in game?
Yeah, he just needs to worry less about the fake tan and more about the game he's going to call. Tony Romo, you made me say, oh, no. Thought better of you.
615-737-1045. Let's rattle through some. Ann is in Michigan.
Hello. I have a sports adjacent, oh no, and that is in Taylor Swift's release of her 12th studio album. The song is entitled Wood, W-O-O-D, and uses phrases like redwood tree and new heights of manhood. Despite the fact that she does compare Travis Kelce to a redwood tree, it is the shortest lasting song on her album.
Thank you for the call, Ann. Yeah, it's a song about Travis Kelce's penis.
Yes, she makes that abundantly clear.
Are we ready to say this album sucks yet, or are we still clinging on to, it's kind of young?
There's a couple of good songs.
It's catchy enough.
Okay, she is supposed to be the best artist in the world, the biggest artist in the world, sans Big Bunny, right? Bad Bunny, not Big Bunny.
Big Bunny.
I'm a Big Bunny. I just thought about that video I sent Lucas. So but when she's going to come out with this, she's a lyricist. She's so introspective. The album sucks. The album sucks. She only puts up good music when her heart is broken. So, Travis, get to cheating.
There's a couple hits on there.
Well,
There's a couple hits. There's nothing.
That would bring down an unbelievable album, especially when she's literally making a song about his Richard.
There are hits on that album because every woman in the free world went out and listened to that album. That was not because of its own merit.
She's just getting the Taylor Swift bump regardless of what the quality of the music is.
People are going out to buy physical copies of her media at Target. Yes, she's getting a bump because of who she is.
All right, remember to breathe. You're turning
power.
red. You're turning red. Heath is in Nashville.
Hey, guys. Appreciate y'all taking my call. Enjoy your show. I feel like, there's a lot of moments in that Titans game that say, oh, no, I feel like that's low-hanging fruit. So mine's going to be in the game last night. I think it was right before the Trevor and the Jags got the ball to go on that game-winning drive. It panned over to Trevor Lawrence on the sideline, and he's just digging for gold, man. Pointer finger almost knuckle-deep in nose. Digging for it, and then pulls it out, and then goes back in with the thumb to dig out any leftovers. So, and the camera just kind of stayed on it too, watching them. So that's my oh no moment.
It was compelling television. Trevor Lawrence
with his thumb.
I mean, honestly, he was in there.
How do you even pick your nose
brother.
with your thumb.
He's got some nostrils.
I felt for Trevor in that moment. That was
even
tough.
Get my thumb in my nose.
That was tough.
It was a very very specific effort to get whatever was in his nose out.
Oh yeah. That was one of the best nose pick shots I have ever seen in live television.
Remember to stay on hold for the chance to win tickets. Dan is in Nashville.
No one's doing Screamo.
What you got, Dan?
Hey, guys, what is up?
How are you?
Great. Hey, my oh no is the unbelievable Jerry Jones, a owner of a professional football team, Sunday during the Cowboys-Jets game, as he calls it, makes an unfortunate gesture toward the Cowboys. And it wasn't toward the Jets, as he said. It was toward the Cowboys, all in fun. So that was a big no.
Yeah, see? Dan's playing along.
Yeah, he tried.
I like
Bonus
Dan.
points for Dan.
I like Dan.
Jerry Jones went full Bud Adams. You never go full Bud Adams. It was less aggressive than Bud Adams. Bud's is funnier because he looks like a bit of a demented old man in the picture anyway. But he's got the rings on and he's double middle fingers to Bills fans. Robert, you know the picture I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Jerry Jones teetering on senile old man Bud Adams moment. All right, one more. How about Trent in Gallatin?
Hey, how's it going? Long-time listener. I just wanted to point out one from the game last night. So the Chiefs had a chance to come back, get in field goal range, tie the game. Mahomes throws the football, hits Hollywood Brown right in the shoulder. He don't even turn his head till it's too late. And they had a chance to go down there and kick the field goal to tie the game, and that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a big missed opportunity. Thanks for the call, Trent. Yeah, receiver just got to get his head around there. All right, so we have Ann with the Travis Kelce Richard song. We have Heath with the Trevor Lawrence nose pick. Jerry Jones, full Bud Adams from Dan, and Trent talking about the missed opportunity for the Chiefs.
I think Dan deserves it for the effort.
My submission is Heath.
Okay, I would go with Heath because he is the one who told me who this band was. So I assume he would be the one that would be most interested in going to this. So I'll vote for Heath.
I felt bad for Trevor Lawrence. It's a big oh-no moment. All right, very good. Well done by Heath. We'll talk about Cam Ward and the 2-minute offense next. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you like they've helped so many guys over the course of over a decade here in Middle Tennessee. Because if you're dealing with ED, you know how frustrating that can be, how many different things it can impact specific to your relationships. Beyond just your performance, it can affect your mental health if you're not performing up to your standards either. And that's what the Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you resolve. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatments. Sometimes it's a combination of those treatments that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So stop procrastinating and call today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
11:03, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Jaguars are 4-1 after a dramatic Monday Night Football win over the Chiefs, 31-28. Trevor Lawrence scrambling into the end zone for the game-winning score with 23 seconds left, and the Chiefs fall to 2-3. Brian Callahan met with Titans media yesterday as the Titans look to build off their first win of the year in dramatic comeback fashion in Arizona. This was Callahan yesterday.
That's our focus, and it feels great to win, but we also aren't satisfied with all of it, and they shouldn't be either because we got to play better earlier in the game. You know, there's the good teams. If you give them a 21-6 lead in most games in this league, you're going to have a hard time coming back, and thankfully we found a way to do it, but that's not the way we want to live, nor is it sustainable, and we got to find a way to play better earlier, and I think that's the key, and having the same mentality about how we feel after a loss when you're correcting the tape and making sure you're correcting what needs to get corrected.
Playoff baseball tonight in the ALDS. Tigers hosting the Mariners. That's at 3:08 for Game 3. Series tied at 1. And then later tonight, the Yankees host the Blue Jays, who have a 2-0 lead. First pitch at 7:08. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So you got a good quarter, a good half a quarter out of the number 1 overall pick in Arizona, and it ended up through faults of the Cardinals, and the Titans finally, after begging and pleading and dying for them to take advantage of Cardinals' mistakes, they finally did the thing. They did enough to get a win, their first win of the season. But how is that going to be made sustainable? That is the question that now we turn to, because you can't rest on your laurels. God knows you can't rest on your laurels at 1-4. There are no laurels to be had. What is a laurel, by the way? Do we know? I assume it's just an accomplishment.
Robert?
Laurels, morals.
I'm going to need an Urban Dictionary reading at some point.
Potato. It's probably something in Aesop's Fables, or who knows.
Laurus nobilis. It is native to the Mediterranean region and used as bay leaf for season. That's not what it is. That's a different laurel.
Well, that's because your algorithm is feeding you spices because it knows you're looking up what you're going to make for dinner later.
I mean, but maybe that's why the saying is rest on one's laurels.
Like resting on leaves?
Yeah,
like
maybe.
a shrub.
It doesn't make any damn sense either. All right, either way. The point is, how do you get better play out of the quarterback for 4 quarters as opposed to just praying and hoping and wishing for one? What, Robert?
Okay, one thing. That is where that comes from, because in ancient Greece and Rome, where victors were crowned with laurel wreaths. So rest on your laurels is that, what you just said.
I see.
So your previous accomplishments. I see.
I see, indeed. Okay.
We are smarter.
That's
today.
pretty cool.
We learned something today. I don't know if we'll learn anything for the rest of the show's existence, but we learned something today.
No, that's not true. Do you know why it's called letting the cat out of the bag?
Is this going to upset me?
No, because back in medieval times, they used to buy animals in bags. You would buy a small pig, you would buy a chicken, and meat salesmen would often catch cats, put them in bags, and be like, oh, yes, this is a fine, young, supple pig. And they would open the bag, and a cat would jump out. So that's where let the cat out of the bag came from.
That can't possibly be true.
Look it up.
You know why they say don't throw the baby out with the bathwater?
Someone did that one time.
Well,
it's a Michael Jackson blanket situation.
You would dispose of bathwater by literally just launching it off out of your window, right?
To take the baby out?
Yeah, with the
Michael Jackson baby?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Blanket. You don't remember him holding blanket off the balcony?
He just needs some air.
That's right. That's ignorant.
It's nice up here. Y'all stop it. Look at my chimpanzee bubbles.
Ann on YouTube says, y'all are dumb. Yes, we know.
What were we talking about?
The quarterback. It's the only Titan segment we have in the books today. So, Cam Ward, as Lucas pointed out yesterday, said he wants to live in the 2-minute and 4-minute offense. So I asked Brian Callahan how realistic that actually is. This was the coach's response yesterday.
Well, hang on now. I wasn't ready for that.
It's literally the only Titan segment we have today.
What did you want to hear about? Let me see if I can come back here and fix you something good and bring it back out here, but we ain't going to rush this.
I believe you have it titled as No Huddle.
Ah, yes, the No Huddle clip. 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, there's a personnel perspective. You know, we felt like going into that game, one of the things that was going to be good for us and help calm that defense down some. They're real multiple when you get 11 personnel, and then particularly when you no huddle against them, they had shown to pressure quite a bit and make it hard on you. So we got bigger against them, especially early in the game. We were in some 12 and 13 and even some 21. We had some fullback stuff in there as well. So that was by design. We felt like that calmed that front down and calmed the scheme down a little bit. So that in and of itself in the game plan wasn't really part of how we were going to attack those guys. But we have done quite a bit of no huddle, and I think that package continues to grow. It is something that Cam feels very comfortable in and has shown to execute well. So those are things that we're, by game plan, of course, but those are things that he has shown to play well in, and those are things we're going to keep expanding as we keep going forward.
So that's Brian Callahan talking about Cam Ward's desire to live in 2-minute and 4-minute offense. Now, we talked to Ben Jones about this, which is how we got the Terry Robisky revelation, which was the highlight of yesterday's show. But it's also something that Ben, I mean, when you brought it up to him, Lucas, like, that's as visibly frustrated as I've seen Ben about something that they're doing or not doing offensively, I think, at any point that we've had Ben on the show.
Yeah, he immediately said, simplify things, get faster, bring in some tempo, do the things that the rookie is comfortable with, put him in the best position to succeed.
Oh, that's you were done after that?
Yeah, that's what he had to say.
Okay, just repeating what Ben had to say. I didn't
None
know
of us ever say anything original on the show.
Some more profound thoughts on that, yes, but I just expected you to go beyond what literally regurgitating less informatively what Ben said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But, I mean, how much can you realistically do, right? Because the thing about the Titans is what's been a common theme outside of the Arizona game about how they play football. They get taken out of a lot of what they game plan because of how often they get behind the sticks, how often Cam had been sacked in the early going, and a better offensive line performance in Arizona for sure, save the one jailbreak sack that Dan Moore just barely moved. It seems when, Josh Sweat came screaming off the edge and took Cam Ward down on that third down before the setup for the 4th and 10. I don't know how much that's specific to opponents, and Brian Callahan brought up that it was specific to that Arizona front because it's difficult to get them to back off a little bit, and so to simplify that was something that they were going to try and do for Cam Ward. That's the thing, though. Like, they're just trying to get him to – it's almost like a different version of a defensive guy thinking less, right? Playing faster. They just have to find ways to compartmentalize this for him.
Yeah, and I understand that, it's very easy for us to sit here and point and say, well, just go faster. Just do the things the rookie wants to do. Like, I get that it's more complicated than that.
Well, it wasn't for Marcus. He literally just said, all right, I don't have a choice because nobody's giving me anything else. We're going to do it.
But there has to be an element of that, right? That's the most comfortable we have seen Cameron Ward. Like, we had seen flashes in spots here or there up until that point. But we saw Ward have a moment presented to him and seize it with 3 consecutive drives, marching his team down the field. And I loved that it all kind of came in different ways, right? Obviously, 2 of those 3 drives had 47-yard deep ball to Calvin Ridley, longest offensive play of the season so far, and the 38-yard deep ball to Ridley that helped set up the game-winning field goal. But also, the way he was able to spread the ball around on, I was saying before you got here yesterday, my favorite of those 3 drives, ironically, is the one that ended in the interception that was fumbled and kicked around and recovered by Lockett. And that was a 60-yard drive. It was the shortest of the 3, but 8 plays. The way that they we use the word, matriculated down the field, that was the drive where Chikakonkwo put a move on 2 Cardinals defenders.
It was nice.
Juked them out of their shoes and then went off down the left sideline. That is, for me, the most positive thing we've seen from Cam Ward all season. Just putting together that type of series where he was so clearly in a groove with that sense of urgency and that wave of momentum, kind of the wind at their sails. So what does Bo Hardigree take from that? How much do they apply that now to regular situations in the second quarter? If it's a, 7-3, 7-7 game in Las Vegas on Sunday, how much do we see some of those principles applied in a situation that isn't as urgent as being down by a score or 2 scores in the fourth quarter after getting a boost off a turnover?
I would love for it to seem less desperate. right?
Yeah, it felt like they were just hopping on a moment. Like, oh, here we go. Oh, wow, we have new life. Somehow we're in this game. Let's go. Boom. And then it's the best quarter the offense has produced all season. Okay, so do we see that in the flow of a regular game on the road at Allegiant Stadium on Sunday?
Max Crosby is not going to make that easy.
No, it's a better pass rush.
It's not a better defense.
Yeah.
But they have an individually better player than anybody on the Cardinals for sure. 615-737-1045 is the number. Somebody said, revenge game for Bo Hardigree, interim play caller for the Raiders. I don't know.
Ooh, I guess it is. You know, Titans have never been to Vegas.
Yes, I know. That's this will be Stadium 28 out of 30 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is in Dixon.
Hey, guys. Thank you. Quick question and then a statement. The question is, how do they go forward from the fourth quarter? But even before that, it was everybody. It was Ridley, Lockett, Gunner, DK, Ironmanner. Everybody was dropping. I know Cam wasn't the most accurate, but I think Chig, surprisingly, was the only one that didn't drop it. And then, so how do they fix that? But question is, Halloween's coming up. So I was wondering if on Friday, October 31st, y'all will do your true cartoon personas. Buck, you were obviously Squidward. Lucas is SpongeBob. And then, of course, Bert is pleasant, aloof Patrick. So just want to see what y'all think about that. And see y'all later.
Have we thought about Halloween costumes?
Yes, that was literally what we were going to do.
Yeah.
Do you not remember us talking about this? Like
No, I don't remember at all.
That is exactly.
I don't retain the information.
That is exactly what we were going to do.
It's true. Halloween is on a Friday, 3 weeks from this Friday.
Are we all going to dress up?
It's going to be tough to top my costume last year.
What, where you wore a Trader Joe's bag over your head?
Yeah, that said collaboration.
Yeah, that's tough to top.
Oh, God, yeah, that's really good.
Pretty clever.
This guy.
I did that show with a bag over my head for 3 hours, all right? I want credit. I stuck to the bit. How do I dress as Squidward? Where am I going to find a prosthetic penis-looking nose?
We could find something like that. We get you some pantyhose and then put like a cue ball in it, tape it around the back of your head. There's your droopy nose. What I was going to be more concerned with was how am I going to get away with just wearing swimming trunks at work?
I mean, what's the difference between that and the way that you typically come to work?
I mean, I would be shirtless.
You won't have Crocs on?
Yeah, well, no, I think Patrick can wear Crocs.
You could get a Patrick Star costume for like $50.
How much? Are there any with abs? I would like to look like Buff Patrick.
Is there such a thing?
Have you ever seen SpongeBob and Patrick square off in the squared circle? Of course there's a Buff Patrick.
There is.
Yes, send me the link, baby. Put it in my cart. You can get a buff SpongeBob too. We could both be buff, and he'd just be lame Squidward.
We should do this. We should actually do this.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
Just quickly, if I asked you how many drops the Titans were credited with according to Pro Football Focus, how many would you say?
The Ellick one was a stone cold drop.
Just last week or in total?
You're talking about Sunday, right?
I'm talking about Sunday.
Yeah. I think the Tyler Lockett one is a drop, but I feel like they're going to say that was just an inaccurate. So 1 to 2?
2, Ellick Manor not credited with a drop, according to Pro Football Focus. That was considered an inaccurate pass by Pro Football Focus. They give Gunnar Helm a drop.
Oh, yeah, Helm definitely had a drop.
And they give Lockett a drop.
Oh, so they did?
They did credit Lockett with a drop.
How is the Iomanner one an inaccurate ball, but the Lockett one? I mean, they're both drops to me, but
I agree with you.
That's tough.
Now, the Lockett was a bad ball by Cam, right? That was well behind.
But also,
if we asked Tyler Lockett, he's like, yeah, I got to catch that ball, which of course he's going to say that.
Yeah, but I agree with him.
There's certain times, too, where like he was trying to fit that between two defenders, too, though. Like where you're putting it on the backside because if you lead him, you're going to lead it right into a defender. Like I don't think that was a bad throw. I just think Cam was putting it where no one else could get it but Lockett.
I think that's one where you would like for the veteran, safety blanket receiver to help out his young quarterback there.
Would I be Squidward or Squilliam? I feel like I'm more Squilliam than Squidward.
You are more Squilliam, unfortunately. But then you would get roasted at the Bubble Bowl if you were not Squidward. You would have to fight out of that. The embarrassment of watching your arch enemy's band go out there and. God, that song is so
You want to talk? I was about to say, that's a good song.
No, yeah, it's badass. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said it was so bad.
No, that might be, Bubble Bowl might be the best episode of SpongeBob ever created, and I think it happened in season 1.
Really? Is that season 1?
I need to go back and rewatch SpongeBob.
Jason Fitz next. Financial independence is critical. You know this, especially if you have not yet achieved financial independence. What's the best way to do that? Why, it's calling Tragent Wealth. 2 locations in Brentwood and Franklin to serve you as a local operation, because the simple truth is there's more to retirement planning, for example, than simply calculating your expenses to maintain your lifestyle through this next stage of life. Tragent Wealth can build a strategy based on realistic options that align with your goals and your circumstances. That's what they're there to do. If you have left an old 401k, for example, with a previous employer, you can create higher investment costs that way. If you have that old 401k and you aren't sure what to do with it, call Tragent Wealth today to discuss how to optimize those funds and get that money working for you again. 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000. Visit them online at TragentWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Tragent Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's hot chicken. I feel criminal talking over this, but that's okay. Jason Fitz of Fox Sports Radio. If I had a lighter, I'd raise it up in the air. Robert's the only one with a lighter on him. Sweet, sweet victory. Fitzy, of course, host
Vandy Live. That was Vandy Live. That was, I felt for you, buddy. I wanted to reach through and give you a big old snuggle.
Literally.
What?
Was
Buck pretending to care about Vandy?
I made a sound like somebody hit me in the chest when he threw that interception.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a very visceral moment because we were talking about, the nature of that exchange was Fitzy just asked me about the way that Vanderbilt was competing with Alabama. And I'm like, it's admirable that they're actually making headway in the trenches in particular, that they're on the road, that the way that they play travels. And then he throws the pick and I just go, oh.
Backbreaker.
Such poor timing. And that was the difference in the game, right, Fitz? I mean, this is something for Vandy. Like, I don't think Vanderbilt fans come away, outside of wanting to win the game, obviously, I don't think they come out feeling like so badly that they went down to Tuscaloosa and lost in a ranked matchup between two legit quality SEC opponents, because the difference simply was the turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, look, the eye test has to matter in college football to fans because it matters to the committee, right? So when you think about what the College Football Playoff Committee actually values, a game control is a metric that they're actually told to consider, and it's a score given to how the game actually plays out, not the final margin. A lot of times people think it's a final margin thing. It's a game control, basically an index that shows what was your win probability throughout the course of the entirety of the game. And so game control on that shows that Vandy gave Alabama everything they could handle. Like, if you believe today that Alabama is a college football playoff team, clearly, then you believe that Vandy is also on the cusp of that same college football playoff, because it was all the way down to the wire. So I think that's a pretty stunning spot to be in for Vandy fans. And yeah, there's no moral victories, but there's also kind of moral victories when you've been a Vandy fan as long as most people have been and you've watched as little meaningful football as they have.
At Jason Fitz, shut up. At Jason Fitz is where you follow him. Yahoo Sports Daily is where you watch him.
So we were asking the question, is Vanderbilt college football playoff worthy? After watching this game and Alabama punching in a touchdown, 17 seconds left to cover the spread and all these things, Fitz, is Vanderbilt a college football playoff worthy team to you still?
Yes, as we stand today, right now. And by the way, some of us really appreciated that garbage time touchdown. May or may not have saved my Saturday. Thank you. But
you might have Pavia's pregame knee ritual to thank for that one.
I mean, look, just whatever it took to get to 12.5 is what I needed. Look, is Vandy a college football playoff team? The way we've seen it today, and you look at the way that they're able to compete, you look at what Pavia has done for them at the quarterback position, they're able to run the football pretty soundly. They're able to stop the run pretty soundly. The things that they do are everything you ask of a playoff team. I think what's interesting is that, I can't believe I'm saying this, and Vandy fans can't believe they're hearing this. If you're a playoff team, it's in front of you. You're going to earn it. Look at the Vandy schedule coming up over the next month. It's brutal. So if you turn around and you say, oh, my God, it's brutal, we can't win these games, well, then you probably weren't a college football playoff team. But if you even split through them, if you can get a couple of wins out of the next month, then, yeah, I think Vandy's going to squarely be in the college football. Like, if we live in a world where Vandy makes it through this whole season outside the SEC championship game, but with their schedule with 2 losses, that's a college football playoff team. If they get to 3 losses, you're probably on the outside looking in. So, weirdly, it's still there for Vandy to take. If you're a playoff team, go prove to the world you're a playoff team. It feels weird to say that.
It does, doesn't it? But here they are.
It's glorious, though, Fitzy. We'll take it. Like, for God's sakes, the Titans even got a win. Nashville SC won their first trophy. Vanderbilt is a ranked SEC program to be here locally.
Yeah, I feel it.
Pred season starts in 2 days. See what happens.
No, don't threaten me.
Bigger flop this season, Penn State or Arch Manning in Texas?
Okay, so the flop of Texas is directly related to the flop of Arch. So I think the bigger flop is weirdly Penn State. I will say this. If you're Penn State, you now have 2 losses. You have 2 games left against top 10 opponents. One is Ohio State and one is Indiana. Will Indiana still be top 10 by then? We'll see. But if you buy the argument that James Franklin can't win against top 10 teams, then you buy the argument that Penn State, as we sit right now, is likely to finish 8-4. Like, Imagine just the level of disrespect you would get from people on Twitter if this summer you'd said, yeah, I think Penn State's probably an 8-4 football team. Like, they would have lost their damn minds. Texas failing is shocking, mostly because Arch sucks. Like, I don't know why we're kid gloving Arch. Arch is not a capable college football quarterback today. Maybe it gets better, but as we sit right now, don't just bench him to get him better. Like, as we sit right now, there's no actual tangible proof he's any better than, I don't know, Spencer Rattler, another top overall quarterback that turned out to have a okay college career. Like, Arch ain't it. And maybe that changes, but that excuses the derailing of Texas in my mind because your quarterback is just so stinking bad. For Penn State to lay that egg, to let Nico do that, to not show up for the first half after you knew how much you needed that game, given the way that you lost at home to Oregon. Yeah, that's it. Look, we're going to start talking buyouts. We're going to start talking next coach. Like, the change, the ripple effects of Penn State being bad are so catastrophic that I think it's a bigger deal that Penn State is bad.
Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports Daily, is with us on 104.5 The Zone. You can also hang out with Fitzy and me on Fox Sports Radio on Saturday evenings. Robert, if you would do me the courtesy of dropping the link to the Fox Sports Radio podcast in the YouTube chat for people who might be interested in spending, God knows they're sick of me, but Fitzy's fun, so you can enjoy that 2 hours with us every weekend. Speaking of fun, your Las Vegas Raiders. So are the Titans and the Raiders the Spider-Man meme where they're both pointing at each other, looking exactly like each other and saying, look, it's a 1-4 team. I can beat them.
For the most part, the craziest thing is ever since I moved to Nashville, ever since the inception of the Titans, the number of times it's been true that when the Titans are good, the Raiders are good. And when the Titans are bad, the Raiders are bad. I don't know why it cycles together, but more often than not, it cycles together. So, like, back in the day when the Raiders were really good and, you know, you had those Eddie George teams, you got good matchups between good Titans, good Raiders. Now it's cycled. You're right. I think two of the worst teams in the NFL taking each other on, and pretty surprising that the Raiders are in this spot. Not defensively. We knew that the Raiders defense would be bad, but to see Geno Smith lead the league in interceptions, and, you know, frankly, it's not even just that. If you go back and watch the All-22, he's missing guys that are wide open. They're absolutely wide open. And it was excused in the beginning that, all right, the offensive line wasn't playing well enough. I think over the last couple of weeks, the offensive line's actually played manageably well. So left tackle is out for the Raiders all season. At this point, Colton Miller likely gone for at least, he's on IR, so for at least 8 weeks, I guess they're saying. That makes the left tackle a really, really susceptible. The left side of the line is bad for the Raiders. There's a get-at point there. But yeah, I think this is maybe one of the 5 most disappointing Raiders seasons I've ever seen compared to where we had expectations. They do not look competent.
Brock Bowers has been dealing with a knee injury since week 1, it sounds like, based on the reports, and they made him a late Saturday scratch before this Colts game. I don't know if he would have made a difference. What was it, 40-6, the final between the Raiders and the Colts this past weekend? But what's the conversation around Brock Bowers? Are you feeling confident that they might get him back this week, or is that something that they just need to shut him down for an extended period of time?
So, according to reports, it's a bone bruise and a PCL damage. And the only way to repair the PCL damage, there's one of two things that can happen. It's either rest, and that rest would be about 6 weeks, or it's surgery, which would take 6 months. So they're obviously not opting for the surgery point, and it's can you play through it process. The problem is that, as you mentioned, he heard it in week 1. He tried to play the next couple of weeks with the brace on it that like would have looked massive even on Gronk. Like, it's one of the largest knee braces you've ever seen. And he was a shell of himself. So if he plays on Sunday, I think your real target is 2 catches for 40 yards. Like, that's sort of where he is when he's playing with that brace on. More likely, they shut him down for a while. The bigger issue the Raiders had, too, is their backup tight end, Michael Mayer, who's actually played pretty well, is in concussion protocol. So he hasn't made his way back onto the field. So the injuries have decimated a very thin roster. If Brock plays, I don't think he's a difference maker in this game, though.
Are you given any more confidence that the Titans needed the Cardinals to act like drunk babies out there in the fourth quarter of a football game, to just literally force their own fumbles and have one of the dumbest endings to a football game I've ever seen in my life to get their first win of the season? Are you given any confidence by that at all?
No. And I think, look, Like, that's where the body of work has to matter, right? Like, that's why, remember when we were in school, although it's much longer for me than it was for you, Puck, like, when we were in school and you had to show the math, you couldn't just write the math answer down, you had to show the math, and the math, like, the math mattered to how you got to the answer. The math matters. Like, the Arizona Cardinals, for the third straight, they become the first team in NFL history to lose 3 consecutive weeks on game-winning field goals. Like, that's just, the Cardinals are, the football gods have decided not you, fat Jesus, on the Cardinals. They're out. Does that mean that the Titans are any good? No, like that it doesn't. And I will say this. I think the loser of the Raiders-Titans game, that franchise goes into full, absolute, our season is done. We are a 3-win football team, and there's nothing left to fight for. The loser of this team can just stick a fork in the entirety of the rest of the season. Like, I don't say this lightly. I wish I had the ability to simply not watch the Raiders games. The loser of this game just doesn't deserve your 3 hours anymore for the rest of the fall. Now, none of us are diligent enough to do that, but just being real, I think the loser of this is suddenly squarely in the first overall pick conversation for next year's draft. And now's a good time to remind everybody that there's no consensus first overall pick that anyone thinks is going to be a franchise saver.
So quick, sell Arch Manning, sell stock high. Titans need to trade out of that number 1 overall. Jason Fitz, at Jason Fitz is where you follow him.
30 picks in 3 years. I don't know. Could be some trade back opportunity there. Fitz, the vibes felt like they were okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Around Vegas going into the season, Pete Carroll coming in to stabilize things, Chip Kelly, the OC, Geno Smith, Ashton Genty. Obviously, the offensive line, there were question marks there. But, I mean, what can you pinpoint? Is it as simple as Geno Smith has not been the stabilizer at quarterback that he was in Seattle? That's the primary reason for all of this, playing behind a poor offensive line?
I think because you're right, the expectation for a lot of people was sort of an 8-9 win team, kind of on the fringe of the playoffs. I predicted a 7-win team that felt really, more capable by the end of the year. To your point, bad teams are rarely bad because of one thing. You guys know that as Titans fans, right? Like, it's rarely one moment that kills you. Early in the season, the offensive line was dreadful, and so that also seemed to give Geno a little case of the yips, and then they lose Powers. The offensive line's been better over the last couple of weeks, but much like the Titans, if you get this Raiders team in negative down and distance, so if they don't stay ahead of the chains, everything goes to hell. And the problem here is that everybody knows that. So if Ashton Genty only gets a yard on first down and you're in 2nd and 9, now everybody's teeing off on a bad offensive line with the quarterback that has the yips. So the way you beat the Raiders is you keep them in, behind on down and distance. That's just what good teams have been able to do over and over and over again. So I think it's a partial fail. Chip Kelly's language is obviously not speaking to Geno, the offensive coordinator. He's the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. So it's not working for Geno. It's not working for Chip. It's not working for the offensive line. Without Brock Bowers, they don't have enough explosive options. And their defense, we already knew was going to be bad. Like, this team was supposed to win because their offense was good. So factor all that together, that's how you get to what looks like could be a 3 or 4 win team this year.
All right. Let's go, handsome. Come on. Not you, fat Jesus. Slide it on back.
Not you, fat Jesus. It's an elite
Not you, fat Jesus.
reference by Jason Fitz in the middle of the radio show.
Should have drafted Shador.
Shut up. They're baiting you, Fitzy. They're dying to talk about Shador down here because we haven't had enough third-string quarterback dialogue in the last couple of weeks. Jason Fitz at Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports Daily, Fox Sports Radio, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time with me. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for the time, as always. You're not going to Vegas, right?
No. I'm not going to Vegas. Like, we couldn't lock the plans in time, and then by the time I looked, it was too expensive. I'm too cheap for that. Like, I go to Vegas when things get comped, Buck. Like, I don't go to Vegas when I have to pay out there. Like, I'm not Buck Rising just going to Germany to see friends for a few days. No, we needed comps and we need a certain level of accoutrements for me to be traveling out there.
You are the worst offender in the name drop game. I will not hear otherwise.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know what? I love my friends. I don't love you, but I love the guys on your show.
I love you too, Jason
Love you too,
Fitz.
Fitz. He said it first.
Yeah.
He's the first one to say it first.
Big kisses, big hugs.
Get out of here. That's Jason Fitz with us on 104.5 The Zone. All right, we got our Tennessee High School Football Hero of the Week coming up next. CPA running back Rawls Patterson joins the show. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Time for our weekly segment, Tennessee High School Football Hero of the Week. It's Rawls Patterson of CPA, who joins us now, of the famous Patterson football family. Rawls, we appreciate you taking some time. I know the season, as far as the wins and losses, haven't exactly gone to plan, but the degree of difficulty of your schedule this year, I know you guys don't want any excuses made for you, but what has been kind of the mindset, the mentality to approach some of these games? Because you're playing some of the best teams like in the country, not just in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, it's definitely different than it has been in the past years, but I think it's a great challenge for us and our team this year. I think we have a lot of people that we have a lot of underclassmen that play a handful this year, so just seeing that for them and knowing what they're going to get the next few years, but just for our seniors to know what it's like, and for any of us that like to play at the next level or anything, you're seeing a lot of people that are going to be starting on Saturdays and some that might be starting on Sundays one day. So seeing the competition we're seeing right now, I think it's a great challenge for all the people that are out there on the field, and I think it's going to make us a lot better when we play in November and December and later on in the season.
It came down to the wire against NBA, 16-15. You definitely did your part. 29 carries, 213 yards, a touchdown. You had 4 catches for 29 yards as well. So when you guys are setting up, or as you're going into that week and the game plan, how much of that workload did you know that you were going to get, and how stressful did that ending become, just trying to make sure that you could secure the win?
Yeah, you always have like an idea of how many carries you might get, how many receptions you might get or whatever. But once you get in the game, that always changes, like especially this week with Owen going down or just out for that game, but he'll be back this week. We just had to rely a little bit more on the run game. So I think I got a little bit more carries than we planned going into the game. But I think the line, it's hard to hold up a team like that for fourth quarters, but our line did a great job just continuing to make gats and stuff. And then everybody just getting to the second level and blocking made my job a lot easier when it got tiring late in the fourth quarter. So
CPA running back Rawls Patterson with us on 104.5 The Zone.
Yeah, and he's referencing Owen Cabell there, the senior wide receiver committed to play at Alabama. For reference, CPA's schedule this year, Rawls, obviously you guys have played some of the best teams in Tennessee, in Oakland and Baylor and Ravenwood, the best team in the state of Ohio in Archbishop Moeller, one of the best teams in Mississippi in Tupelo. For you and your senior class, you and Owen, obviously your brother Preston, all of those guys coming off of nothing but winning year after year, state championships, undefeated regular seasons. What have you guys learned about yourselves through this 7-game stretch?
Yeah, I think we first learned that losing isn't fun, but I think that one's pretty obvious. But no, we learned what it like adversity and what that looks like. I mean, we've had little bits of adversity throughout our high school careers, but none like losing 4 or 5 games in a row, that's really tough. No one enjoys losing, but I think it's just built us as stronger players on the field, but especially stronger men in the community and just men in the classroom and all that, and in relationships outside and off the field. I think it's grown us in that aspect of our lives, just because it's not how you respond when you're up by 20, but it's how you respond when you're down by 20, and I think that's what we've learned this year.
So hard-earned win against NBA, like Buck mentioned, and then you turn around and you host Ensworth this week. Can't wait for this game. Big region matchup, loaded with talent, both sides of the ball. We'll have the call on MyTV 30, 7 p.m. the kickoff on Friday. I know it's been early on in the week as you prepare for the Tigers. What are you seeing so far on the challenge that Ensworth will provide for you defensively, given that you've seen some of literally the best defenses in the country so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, they're a really, really, really good team, and I think that's what you get when you play in this division, is you get a good team every week. So, but I think they've had some big wins, and they have beat some good teams, but we've also seen teams that can bring the same aspect of intensity that they bring. So I think that's been important for us, just knowing the level that all these teams are going to play at. I think they got a lot of really good coaches out there that will have the game really good planned up for us, but we just got to go out there and execute the way we know how. And I think if we do that, I think it'll be good for us.
You and your brother Preston, senior leaders for this CPA squad. Obviously, you guys have followed in the footsteps of your older brothers, Kane, Langston, who is now currently playing at Vanderbilt. What does it look like on week to week for you guys and your family? Are you guys on West End, watching Langston on Saturdays. Is Langston at CPA on Fridays? Like, how much are you guys getting to go to one another's games, being, so close to one another week to week?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of traveling for my parents. I give them all the credit. It's easy when you're playing in it in some of the games, but no, it's definitely awesome just because with him being close, we're able to make it to most all the games. We've made it to every single game except South Carolina. So, South Carolina. We went to Virginia Tech, which was awesome. We went to Tuscaloosa last weekend, so we've been able to make most of them. And then it's easy when we have home games. That's about all there is to it. When you get to Knoxville and Chattanooga and all that, it's not as easy to make the games.
Take us inside a CPA practice, whether it's training camp or throughout the course of the week, preparing for a Friday game. Rawls Patterson coming out of the backfield versus Preston Patterson coming into the A-gap. Who wins more often than not? Let's be honest.
Man, you're giving us inside the tackle box. If you give me outside the tackle box, I might have a little bit better of a chance. But it depends how many yards I have to get. I think maybe if somebody gets a little chip on him, I think I got him. But straight up, I think he'd probably get me.
That's Rawls Patterson with us on 104.5 The Zone. Again, Lucas on the call for MyTV 30 between CPA and Ensworth on Friday. Rawls, we appreciate the time and continued health and success for you and your team this season. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
That's Rawls Patterson of CPA with us on 104.5 The Zone.
Love you, Rawls.
He's gone.
Stop
a good dude.
doing that.
It's a good dude.
If he's under 18, you can't say that.
You can that is a lame rule that you can't.
I do not want to have Lucas tell these high school coaches that Robert has to identify himself as somebody who can't be within 100 yards of a school.
I got to talk to Ingle on Friday.
Every time he picks up the phone.
You keep doing it, big dog.
That's cool. That's good.
You can hype him up. Just don't tell the high schoolers that you love them.
Love you, big dog. I love you, man.
You know what? The big dog makes it better for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
667 rush yards for Rawls so far this season.
I don't think it makes it better.
He's averaging 6 yards a carry. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns.
That deserves some love.
And that does deserve some love. CPA, man, talk about battle-tested with this schedule. And they are still absolutely a contender, still one of the best teams in Tennessee. And this matchup on Friday, probably some future NFL players on both sides of the ball. Plenty of future Power 4 guys. We mentioned Owen Cabell on one side for CPA, the wide receiver. Ensworth loaded with talent as well. Taylor Hasselbeck, the quarterback at Ensworth, a Wyoming commit, the son of head coach Tim Hasselbeck, as we know. Matthew Hasselbeck is the offensive coordinator. Ben Jones is helping out up there. By my count, there are at least 9 former NFL players on both of these coaching staffs combined for this game on Friday.
That's fun.
So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun environment, important region game, loaded with talent, and high stakes. Always fun as we get into week 8 of the high school football regular season in Tennessee.
Yeah, I thought about you. I don't think about you often, Robert, but I thought about you yesterday because I went to this little market by my house, and one of the guys, he's always in there, he works a counter, big, gruff-looking dude, got I don't even know if it's a mullet. It's like half afro, half mullet. Looks like
kind of sick.
I mean, he looks like he would be.
What would you call that?
I've never an afrolet. Is that what you said? I've never seen Trailer Park Boys, but just by the name Trailer Park Boys, like this, he looks like he would be a character in that show. And I asked him, just making conversation as I was checking out. I was like, "Hey, you do anything fun this weekend?" He said, "Yeah, one of my buddies came in town from home. Hadn't got to see him in a while. Just really enjoyed it. Got to hug him. Just love on him a little bit." And I was like,
yeah, heck yeah.
I was fired up a little bit about that. It's just like, it was very, very sweet, very sentimental from this grizzly bear looking human being that was selling me, $9 chocolate bars.
It is called a shullet if it is an afro mullet.
A
it is
shullet?
a combination of shag and mullet.
Oh, I think that's appropriate for what, if I showed you a picture of this human being, that would be apt.
Hopefully he got to love on somebody. He needed some love in his life. Everybody needs a little love in their life. You got to stop being the barrier of entry of love.
Why?
Because we're all over here dying, rolling over, getting sick, teams losing, everything around you's falling apart. Sometimes you just need somebody to give you a hug, a real one. That's what you need.
You and I that's never happened.
Not while you were awake.
Got a break.
12 o'clock, good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Jaguars are 4-1 after a dramatic Monday Night Football win over the Chiefs, 31-28. Trevor Lawrence stumbling into the end zone for the game-winning score with 23 seconds left, and the Chiefs are 2-3. Brian Callahan met with Titans media yesterday as the Titans look to build off the first win of the season in a dramatic comeback in Arizona.
That's our focus, and it feels great to win, but we also aren't satisfied with all of it, and they shouldn't be either because we got to play better earlier in the game. There's the good teams. If you give them a 21-6 lead in most games in this league, you're going to have a hard time coming back, and thankfully we found a way to do it, but that's not the way we want to live, nor is it sustainable, and we got to find a way to play better earlier, and I think that's the key, and having the same mentality about how we feel after a loss when you're correcting the tape and making sure you're correcting what needs to get corrected.
Playoff baseball tonight in the ALDS. Tigers hosting the Mariners. That's at 3:08, Game 3 with the series tied at 1. And then later tonight, the Yankees host the Blue Jays, who have a 2-0 lead in the series first pitch at 7:08. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
If you had to make a list of things that you would not eat before you turned on a microphone and spoke into it for an hour at this point of live sports talk radio, Robert, what do you think would be at the top of that particular list?
Popcorn.
Popcorn's up there.
Lobster tails.
Lobster tails.
Any fish.
Any fish?
Anything with a sauce that could bounce off your mouth onto the microphone. So no spaghetti, no Alfredo.
Let's see, I would have said one of those Nature Valley bars.
Oh yeah, that could get really stuck in your craw.
What is that that's in your what are you currently working out of your teeth right now, Lucas? Because this would be probably a top submission on
peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle.
And yet
you literally shoved a handful of peanut brittle into your mouth as the microphones came on. Not like during the commercial break, not at the start of the break, as the microphones came on.
And it was executed perfectly. The audience none the wiser.
They can literally see you still chewing.
Do you know who is wiser than all of us put together? That is one Sylvester Ron Slay.
Oh, do we have a guest appearance? Is he joining us from the darkness, from the shadows?
Yes, indeed, Buckaroo. Hello.
Very spooky call today. What is it? You sound like Calais Campbell, like a friendly monster.
This is what I called in to say. Because of all of the shade, and all of the vitriol sent my guy Bert's way, I just called in to say, Bert, I love you.
I love you too, Slay.
Thank you. Pan, I love you too, Pan.
I love you too, Slay.
Bye.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Slay. Later. Covered all the bases. Covered every base.
I almost said a nasty word into the microphone.
This is how SpongeBob felt at the Bubble Bowl. This was sweet, sweet victory.
Someone in the F&M Bank chat says Slay needs to be Larry the Lobster on Halloween.
Oh, he is Larry.
Are we adopting Slay for Halloween so that we can make him a part of our SpongeBob cast? I don't know how I feel about that now after this just egregious slight against me.
He would either need to be him or Poseidon. If you remember from the SpongeBob movie, Poseidon had an issue with his crown being stolen. But my issue is it is Groundhog's Day because we have had this exact same who at the zone is who from SpongeBob conversation before.
Yes. Oh, we're already in reruns?
Yes. Dawn is Sandy. Brent is Mermaid Man. Joseph is Barnacle Boy. Zach is...
Zach could make a good Barnacle Boy.
Ooh, Zach would be a good...
Gary.
He would be a good Barnacle Boy.
He's Gary.
He is Gary. Who is Stoney? We didn't do that. I don't think Stoney was here yet.
I don't know. Which character on SpongeBob has a testicle infection?
Jeez.
Hippa. Okay.
Yeah, come
It's
on.
not a HIPAA thing. He
Yeah,
tweeted it.
Yeah, get hip with
He put it on Twitter.
No, you need to get hip with what you should let out in the world.
I'm just saying. His ailment was public.
It would probably be one of those creatures. Remember when SpongeBob goes into the depths and they don't know how to talk there? They have to, I'm trying to get on the bus.
You think that's Stoney?
I don't know. Or the hash-slinging slasher. Oh, no.
Now you're just throwing
No. I know who it is. Stoney is Bubble Bass. Stoney is Bubble Bass.
What is Bubble Bass?
There's no pickles. He wanted pickles on his burger.
Oh, and he's hiding them under his tongue?
Yes, the whole time. There are the pickles, and those are the pickles from last time.
People have requested, because, you know, we are still doing June radio in the middle of October because of a 1-4 football team. People have requested that you and I, Robert, sing the fun song from SpongeBob where you would be SpongeBob and I would be Plankton.
Plankton has the better lines, but I'll make it work.
So we will do this, before polls?
Sure. Do you know the F is for friends who do
I
stuff
have
together?
the lyrics brought up. I even have Plankton's lyrics versus SpongeBob's lyrics. So
Okay.
I'm more prepared than you are.
You
for this.
probably are. I would be doing it strictly from memory.
Well, that would be impressive. I have not seen that episode of SpongeBob in 20 years.
Do you think Arch Manning grew up watching SpongeBob?
Oh, that's a wonderful transition by you. I was just about to ask, what the hell are we supposed to talk about?
Legitimate question.
Arch? No, he's too young, right? Well, I don't know. People are like into SpongeBob now. Like SpongeBob is SpongeBob still making episodes?
I think so.
No, I believe they've signed off for the final time. They have a spinoff for Patrick now. Why am I the utmost expert?
Oh, Stoney could be Davy Jones.
Oh, get off my ship! It's the monkey's fist.
Oh,
the
man.
monkey.
That's pretty good. That's a good Davy Jones. Arch has looked terrible.
Arch has gone
looked
to Davy
terrible.
Jones's locker.
Yes, it seems that way. I mean, I'm so confused.
Don't make eye contact with me. Look at you.
No, that was good. That's basically what the swamp is.
Davy Jones's locker
Yes.
is the swamp.
Basically, I'm so
Impossible
confused.
for a Manning to win in the swamp, it seems.
I just don't get it. Like, you see it. I can see it. I see him scrambling around and making plays. Every once in a while, he'll uncork an NFL throw, and then it'll just look like he's trying to throw an interception. It's so hard to wrap your head around, and the offense just can't move the football. Florida has a good defense. They're on the road in a tough environment, but my goodness, everything felt like pulling teeth for Texas in this game.
He is objectively bad, right? Like, he's not just bad relative to expectation. Like, he's a bad college football quarterback.
Yeah, and we do this thing where, obviously the patience is thinner and thinner and thinner. So if a guy's a 5-star blue chipper and he gets that opportunity early and it doesn't immediately, break out and turn heads, then he's a bust and all. But Arch is in year 3 in that program. Like, he's draft eligible.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Who is more pointing in Leo DiCaprio style at the way that their team is performing, Will Levis or Quinn Ewers? Because I imagine Quinn Ewers feels a bit vindicated for all the heat that was on him, all the dialogue that was around him last year. Why are they still playing Quinn Ewers? Get Arch out there. And probably they knew that Arch was not a better player than Quinn Ewers was.
Yeah, the only person that mattered in that was Steve Sarkisian, who stuck with Quinn Ewers the whole way when healthy. But maybe it's a disservice to Florida to just talk about Arch with this game because Billy Napier, man.
Oh, you mean the clock management thing?
Well, yes, that was part of this. This win was masked by a malpractice moment from Billy Napier, which we've seen a few times. And Billy Napier it's the curious case of Billy Napier, who has built a talented roster you feel like has done all of the right things, or you feel like has the right mindset and everything, but it just doesn't work. And then maybe it does midway through the season, and we'll see if they continue to turn it around. But he had a moment here where Florida has the ball, 29-21. Texas has made it a one-score game. Less than 2 minutes to go. Florida has it 3rd and 3. A first down essentially ends the game. Texas is out of timeouts. Florida's in clock milking mode. A Florida player's helmet comes off during the second down play that sets up the 3rd and 3. And so Billy Napier has the option to either take the 10-second runoff that comes with the player's helmet coming off in the last 2 minutes, or use a timeout to preserve those 10 seconds. And he used the timeout. And I was baffled. Like, what is going on? What's happening here? It doesn't change anything about if you get the first down, the game's over no matter what. And if you don't get the first down, you want Texas to have as little time as possible. And Texas, who Arch takes a terrible sack at the end there, and they line up, try to spike it. They don't get the spike off. They barely don't get it off. But if Texas got that spike off with 1 second left, they would have had a chance at a Hail Mary to potentially tie the game because of Billy Napier. And they escaped, and they got the win. I just imagine Florida fans have to be so confused. The Billy Napier experience is just confusing.
Well, I mean, the DJ Lagway experience is confusing.
He was good in this game.
Well, and he had an interception of his own that was questionable, but I don't know. I don't know how much to put on. I don't know how much to put on Billy Napier in that spot versus DJ Lagway being, I mean, really underwhelming until this game, right? He's not had a good season until he played Texas.
Yeah.
Now, these are the results so far for Texas with Arch Manning quarterbacking. A 14-7 loss at Ohio State. They then played San Jose State, 138-7, though they were pushed, at least in the first half of that game. UTEP, they won 27-10. Sam Houston State, 55-0, and then a loss to Florida, 29-21 in the Swamp. The only time that Arch Manning has looked impressive is against the least of their competition, Sam Houston State, with him standing in the end zone over that poor Sam Houston State player, basically doing the too small thing. He was 18 of 21, 309 for 3 touchdowns. He has not had a game even remotely like that. He's completed 56.7% of his passes against Ohio State. He was just above 63 against San Jose, 44% completion percentage against UTEP, and then he was not accurate against Florida.
What are Florida fans supposed to do?
Isn't Gator Mike out there somewhere? Didn't he already call the show today?
I'd be interested to hear from Gator Mike on this.
Call us.
If they go down to College Station and beat Texas A&M this weekend, it's like, okay, you celebrate that, right? But also you sit back and you're like, what do we have to do to have a pulse in the first half of the season? Like, it doesn't make any sense for Billy Napier to potentially go from, I mean, it makes me laugh just thinking about it. Go from dead man walking to run it back again. The idea of that being on the table is so hilarious. Uh-oh. Billy Napier get fired? What happened?
The Bengals are trading for Joe Flacco.
Oh, a little interdivisional trade.
So stupid. So stupid. Why wouldn't you let them die on the vine? Instead, you give them one of the better deep ball guys in the NFL that's acquirable. Why wouldn't you just let them roll over and die?
Talking about the Browns.
Yes. Why would you give them something?
We don't even know what they're giving them, do we?
They are giving them Joe Flacco.
Well, sorry, we don't know what they're getting.
We don't know what the compensation
Who cares what they're giving up? They have someone who's better than doo-doo Jake Browning.
That is fascinating.
Why would they trade within the division?
So stupid.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
Because the Browns don't care.
What is Cleveland doing?
They started the season with 957 quarterbacks on their roster. They've traded every single one of them outside of Dylan Gabriel and Shador. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Why you wouldn't let them writhe in pain?
Why would they want Shador to be the backup?
Well, yeah, it's obviously Gabriel's team. He acquitted himself well in a tough spot, right, against the Vikings in London, and they lost the game. But he handled the situation well. But, yeah, this is a head-scratcher.
That's one of the more I mean, we were getting ready to do NFL headlines. I suppose we can lump that into the NFL headlines coming up next.
It's time for NFL headlines with Lucas Panzica.
Oh, don't be so.
Music, Ben.
You are so dramatic.
We pick up right where we left off. Joe Flacco, you are a Cincinnati Bengal. The Browns are trading quarterback Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick to Cincinnati in exchange for a 5th-round pick. So Joe Flacco and a pick swap. Essentially, the Bengals go from having a 6th to a 5th. Probably the way the Brown season is going to be a pretty good 5th-round pick. Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, all of the people reporting on this. Joe Flacco woke up having to play for a team located in Ohio and is going to go to bed having to play for a team located in Ohio. Hate that for Joe Flacco. But head-scratching trade within the AFC North.
So the pick that Cleveland sent back to Cincinnati is Detroit's original 6th-rounder. So that it varies to be a large jump that Cincinnati is going to, or Cleveland is going to make with this pick swap, all the way from the ass end of the 6th round to potentially the top of the 5th round if Cincinnati continues to trend the way they are trending currently.
Not to be dramatic, but it just bothers me again that the Titans got less for Jarvis Brownlee than the Browns got for 40-year-old Joe Flacco. Like, what? That's so annoying. All right. So Flacco got benched for Dillon Gabriel. We understand this. It seems risky to run into your season, no matter what you think the Browns team is going to be this year, with 2 rookie quarterbacks as your options here. Like Shedeur, break glass in case of emergency now becomes Shedeur Sanders.
I'm more confused at the thought of throwing a bone to your division rival like that.
Oh, no, for
has
sure.
looked hapless. The Bengals can't do anything on offense right now.
They got mugged by Detroit this weekend. Jake Browning has been bad.
And it's not like the Browns are looking like a contender to win the division. But, like, if they think that there's any semblance of a chance at 1-4 to go on a mini run with Dillon Gabriel and, I don't know, push for something.
I mean, they're not a bad team.
Right, no,
like
it's a talented defense.
Dillon Gabriel he looked good enough to help them win games.
I just can't wrap my head around. Can you imagine if, like, and look, Joe Flacco could get to Cincinnati and it could just be the same story. And that's probably the more likely scenario here.
Yeah, but if you had to give Flacco a chance to succeed, you'd give him Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Can you imagine if this hits?
Not even to mention their tight ends, like Noah Fant and Gesicki, which is Flacco's favorite target in the whole world, and they have 2 of them. Like, why would you help them out?
They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender, but, like, yeah.
They're not going to be getting their ass kicked every week either.
I mean, how's this going to look when Joe Flacco picks apart the Browns in the last game of the regular season?
It's very confusing.
Worth noting, Evan Cohen of ESPN Radio put this out. He had an interview with Adam Schefter earlier in the week and notes that Adam Schefter said in his interview with him that he expects that every Monday and Tuesday until the trade deadline, we are likely going to see deals like this adding up to be 10 or 12 deals until the trade deadline. So teams are more willing to move off of guys this year for whatever reason on the Mondays and Tuesdays. So keep an eye out for that.
But when you say deals like this, you don't mean like quarterbacks. You just mean like
just
veterans,
players that have been taught
expiring contract type situations.
Correct.
Okay.
Like similar to, it wouldn't surprise me that if the Lions weren't sniffing around trying to find a cornerback because Terrion Arnold got some bad news, which was then rebuffed this morning, and they think that it's better news and he'll be back before the end of October. But teams like that, good teams that are looking for something, bad teams that are looking to ship something off.
The chat brings up something that I don't want to use as a means of agitating you further. Don't laugh. Would you have wanted Joe Flacco back if they were going to trade him in the division?
No, I wouldn't trade any picks for him. I wouldn't trade any picks for anything.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if Joe Flacco was an upgrade in your mind over Cooper Rush.
No, and it wouldn't matter because Lamar is the engine that makes that offense go.
Sure.
Like Lamar should get a 15% commission on all rushing yards that come out from that offense. And it's been apparent the last 2 weeks that he opens up the run game. So no, Joe Flacco's old ass is not going to make me feel any better about the dumpster fire that is the Ravens right now.
Take it out on Joe. He didn't do anything to you.
Bengals. He did do. He tucked tail and ran right to a divisional opponent and then got traded to another divisional opponent. I'm sure next year he will be the Steelers starting quarterback. So who knows?
How many different teams has he played for now? He's had a run here at the end. Jets, Colts,
Broncos,
Eagles.
I forgot he was with the Eagles. That's a good pull by you.
That's impressive.
He was my first QB.
Bengals go to the Packers Sunday. Late afternoon kickoff.
Oh, Joe Flacco. That's not good.
Here's Micah Parsons. So
yeah, that's not ideal. All right, what else you got?
Odd. We somehow haven't spent really any time on this. So before we get to anything else that happened in Sunday's games, Mark Sanchez is now facing a felony charge for altercation. He is facing a felony battery charge for what, if you haven't heard by now, authorities said Monday was a fight over a parking dispute in Indianapolis. So, basically, the police affidavit alleges that the 30-year-old Sanchez, who was in town to broadcast, to be the analyst for the Colts game against the Las Vegas Raiders for CBS, the former Jets quarterback, the affidavit alleges that Sanchez, smelling of alcohol, accosted 69-year-old truck driver Perry Toll, who backed into a hotel's loading docks in downtown Indianapolis. That led to a confrontation early Saturday outside of the vehicle that prompted the driver to pull out a knife to defend himself. The former Jets quarterback was pepper sprayed and stabbed multiple times during the altercation. It became clear after investigators learned more about Toll's medical condition, the victim in this case, that the more serious charge was warranted. Here's the quote from the prosecutor. This was a situation that did not need to occur. The allegations involve a 38-year-old man becoming involved in an altercation with the 69-year-old man who sustained significant and very severe injuries as a result of that altercation. So Sanchez was hospitalized, stab wounds to his upper right torso. And
have you seen the pictures of the victim?
Yeah, it's not good. He had a cut on his cheek as well.
Not a cut. That's a Joker Batman top. Like, he got sliced from his lip to damn near his ear.
Yeah, it's an ugly situation, man. I don't know how. How does this become as extreme as it did?
Can I get the reckless speculation sound, please? At your convenience?
Yeah, it's frozen.
Is it buffering?
Go. Yeah, just go. There it goes.
The computer buffering was not on my scorecard today. I'm going to assume he's on drugs.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to recklessly speculate that Mark Sanchez was doing more than drinking.
What kind of drugs?
I don't know. What kind of drugs make you do wind sprints in an alley outside of an Indianapolis bar? Like, what is he doing? Having Harry and Izzy's sliders and then going crazy on a town? It's Indy. There's nothing to do.
No, it's not heroin. It's probably coke. You're going to do wind sprints? He's probably doing a little... I recklessly speculate on my end?
No, this is some serious reckless speculation.
Again, that's why we have the sound. We can recklessly speculate. See that this covers everything that we've said right now. I'm recklessly speculating.
But don't say the sound's over. You can't say anything else about it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. By the way, Dan Dockich is going to be my dumbest thing in sports this week. What?
Yeah.
Dan.
Just.
Woof.
Come on, man.
God almighty.
This is just an insane story. Insane. Because the news comes out Saturday, and it's, oh, man, Mark Sanchez got in the hospital for stab wounds in Indianapolis. Was he mugged? What happened here?
So
was
many
it carjacking?
Prayers for Mark Sanchez.
Prayers up, right?
Thoughts for Mark Sanchez.
And then for it to just slowly devolve into Mark Sanchez accosting this guy because he was upset at the way in which he was parked, which, to my knowledge, had nothing to do with Sanchez, did it? Like, he wasn't blocking Mark's car. It was just...
Clearly, he shouldn't have been driving if he was.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And he just accosted this guy, and next thing you know, the dude is pepper spraying and stabbing Mark Sanchez in self-defense.
And the order that it happened is crazy, too. So Mark approached him aggressively. He pepper sprays him. And then Mark is like, oh, I hadn't had enough. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Pow, pow, pow. And then the dude stabs him.
The line in the video is alleged. I haven't watched the video that the New York Post got a hold of, but you can hear Sanchez apparently saying, what are you going to do, stab me?
Oh, stop it.
Maybe I got got by the onion. I don't know.
You had to have.
I think that was a meme.
You had to have. There's no way that,
A man moments before being stabbed. But what are you going to do, stab me?
I mean, I don't know if a 69-year-old man came at me with a knife.
That is a satirical headline. I've seen that because that's from
response.
That's like from an old news story.
And I promise you, if an old man is ever holding a knife, he is going to stab you. You're in an alleyway aggressively approaching someone.
What is that clip that you referenced last night on Primetime from where it's the old guy who's he looks like he's having a heart attack, acting like he's having a heart attack. Call an ambulance.
Call an ambulance.
But not for me.
Oh, I just made a gun sign on Zone TV. That's a 15-yard flag.
That's all right.
That is a flag. That's a penalty.
What else you got? It's just a ridiculous story.
It's a crazy story. I mean, the felony charge. I mean, it's crazy. It went from misdemeanor to felony.
Maybe he gets off, but like the pictures of the victim of the 69-year-old man,
it's serious stuff.
That would indicate to me jail time. Apparently, the charges that he's got against him right now would be somewhere between 1 and 6 years in prison.
Yes, a potential sentence of 1 to 6 years in prison. So the investigation's ongoing. Additional charges are possible, according to the Indianapolis Metro Police Chief. Brady Quinn filled in on the CBS call of the Colts blowout against the Raiders.
Just flew him overnight into Indianapolis to call a 40-6 football game.
I'm sure he was very pleasant and not high and mighty.
Robert,
don't go after my colleague, Brady Quinn.
He doesn't know who you are.
That's true. That's true.
So, yeah, just wild story from Indianapolis on Saturday. Known, I guess, criminal hub, Indianapolis, Indiana, I suppose.
If you ask Dan
according
Dockich.
to Dan Dockich, it is. It's a regular.
We got a whole segment dedicated to the
it's like the Dark Ages out there. If you ask Dan Dockich.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe the Dark Ages is not something you should use there.
That was unintentional.
If you could, okay.
Look at how quickly he ran away from that.
Say you were in this man's situation and you could tell Mark Sanchez, I want anything. What would you ask Mark Sanchez for?
Whatever drugs he was on.
I wouldn't want those.
Allegedly.
I think I would want. I'd be like, what do you get for going to the AFC Championship? Do you get something for that? I mean, like, I want both your AFC Championship rings.
Oh, you think
rings.
like a participant ring? You think they got a participant ring?
I want something from your trophy case. What would you want for Mark Sanchez?
Whatever feet pics Rex Ryan has sent him.
Oh. Doesn't Rex Ryan have a pig Sanchez tattooed on him?
He's got a tattoo of, I believe it's his wife, in a Mark Sanchez jersey.
Did I say CBS? He was going to be on the CBS call?
Yes.
I meant to say Fox. Thank you, Puka, for the correction.
Also, somebody 20 minutes late in the comment section made me laugh. Joe Flacco got traded. Yes. Thank you for keeping us up to date on that.
Also in the chat, a laurel is a weed. Thank you.
It's a 2-hour-old reference. You guys, keep up.
Back to football.
Okay.
After an insane story. Okay, week 5. We've already talked about some of the major results here. There are no undefeated teams left in the NFL. Bills fall at home to the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles give up a comeback victory also at home against the Denver Broncos. And the Jets are the last winless team in the National Football League. Injury issues continue to pile up for the Chargers, who lost a second straight game. They were the NFL's darlings through the first 3 weeks. My powder was very wet on Justin Herbert for our Wet Powder Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. 27-10 the final against the Commanders at SoFi Stadium. Jaden Daniels comes back into the fold, throws for a touchdown, 231 pass yards. They tacked on a late score, too. It was a 2-score game late in the fourth. It was already over. A Deebo Samuel touchdown pass in garbage time makes it a 17-point difference. Injuries for the Chargers, who are already without their 2 offensive tackles. Rashawn Slater, who went down in preseason, is out for the season. Joe Alt, the left tackle, dealing with an ankle sprain. Running back injuries piling up. Najee Harris is out for the year with an Achilles. And now Amarian Hampton goes down, and I just had it in front of me. I believe has been placed on injured reserve.
That is correct.
Yes, he's been placed on injured reserve, and it boils down to Hassan Haskins, RB1 in L.A.
All right, so you sped through a couple of different results there. Let's talk about the Chargers first, though. That's the
ankle injury to put them on IR.
That's the team that feels like, because now they have no identity, or their identity has been stripped away, right? They're losing their offensive tackles. They're losing their running backs.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot more heavy lifting on Justin Herbert. Now, if you had to put any player in a position like that, you would want a great many quarterbacks, I think, before Justin Herbert, but not that many, right? Like, he's still a talented player. He still should be able to give you a chance to succeed. The question is, Robert would have better reference for this than any of us. Is Greg Roman capable of adapting the offense to moving away from a philosophical identity that is run the air out of the football.
That's tough because if you look at the best years that Greg Roman made the Ravens, like the prolific rushing attack that they were doing it with nobodies. They were doing it with Gus Edwardses and a cast of misfit toys. So I wouldn't say that would be the hindrance to this skill. The hindrance would be that they've lost their 2 top tackles, which I think would take them out of their scheme. Where if you look, it's not like Herbert had a terrible game. He went 22 of 29. But for 166 yards.
Yeah.
So they're limited. They don't have the time for late developing routes where Ladd McConkey, what's that old ass dude? Keenan Allen, Quentin
Johnson.
Johnson.
Still balling,
to
by
his
the way.
credit.
He is incredible. Greensboro, North Carolina's finest.
Have you seen his shoulders, by the way?
You thought Levis was bad.
Well, I think, again, Levis, reckless speculation.
No, you're not reckless.
I would like to have, I think Levis tried to get the most the most injured looking angle of his shoulder when he tweeted it out. Keenan Allen's shoulder blades
both
are
of them.
Freakish.
Yeah.
He looks like if you threw him like a paper airplane, he would soar.
How do you
he
put
could
shoulder
glide.
pads on those?
Wings.
It looks like some kind of bat creature. Like, it's bizarre. All right.
Justin Herbert sacked 5 times in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Von Miller rolling it back a sack and a half.
What were the 2 games? Oh, so the 2 undefeateds that lost this weekend.
Philly and Buffalo.
I haven't seen the Denver Philadelphia game. But their offense is struggling. Clearly they are having an issue with Saquon Barkley now, who popped up on the injury report this week. They are having trouble.
45 rush yards.
They're having trouble. Well, their offensive line, the offensive line has been their superpower, and they are not playing well this year. Like, it's hindering the passing game. It's obviously hindering their rushing attack. So that makes sense for Philadelphia. They feel like they've been getting away with it for a while, and Denver's a good enough team to make them pay that way. New England. Now, you were understandably tongue-in-cheek about Mike Vrabel being treated like Vince Lombardi. I get that. Is that a playoff team? Drake May looks great.
Yeah,
it's not even like, I'm not even doing the Vrabel thing. I'm just like, they have a quarterback, and he looks a lot better, a lot faster than I think anybody was anticipating.
They are a playoff right now, yeah.
They are literally in the postseason picture if the playoffs started today. It's week 5.
Stephon Diggs is playing just, again, was so locked in on Sunday. Harold Landry has had a really nice season up there.
Harold had a couple of critical tackles for loss. Obviously, that dumb penalty on whoever 92 is for the Patriots. But, like, the Bills, to beat the Bills at home is huge for New England.
Getting Christian Gonzalez back was huge.
Yes.
He made a couple game-changing plays. Got some former Titans in there. Robert Spillane.
Dr. Gibby had a terrible penalty.
Gibbons,
terrible penalty late in that game.
Rough.
I think he leads them in tackles.
Who?
Jack Gibbons?
Gibbons.
Surely not.
I need to double check.
Is he playing that much?
Spillane led them in tackles Sunday.
Titans legend Bobby Spillane. Forgot about him. I don't know what's going to happen with New England, but New England making the playoffs would be a bit insane given all the deficiencies that they have. But they have a quarterback that's good enough to make it in year 2. So a situation to keep an eye on. Good on Harold Landry, by the way. Like, again, you don't think this team could benefit from having Harold? I don't care if he wasn't a scheme fit.
Oh, okay, but you don't get to suddenly switch up on that. You wanted them to get Harold out of here as soon as possible. What are you talking about?
I don't know if it's as soon as possible.
You were
I wasn't running him out of town with pitchforks and torches.
They had to get rid of Harold Landry.
That is a complete ridiculous hyperbole.
You were Gaston, dude. You were Gaston. You were like, we've got to kill the beast.
You were hammering the Harold Landry just cleans up sacks. He's not worth the contract. It's the right move to get rid of him.
Did you see Femi on Sunday?
I will not let you try to turn back that clock.
I can do the thing in retrospect by saying, yes, Femi Oladejo was not worth moving on from Harold Landry for. That I'm okay saying. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll take your phone calls. Oh, last call for phone calls. Show's almost over. Coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045, the number. Jump in there if you want. Last call for phone calls. You say the Ravens signed somebody?
Yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the practice squad.
My city!
Also, what was Blaine doing in Baltimore this weekend? Does anybody know? He was at the Ravens game.
I don't know. He looked like he was having a great time, probably watching us writhe.
I saw him on Instagram. He took a couple of pictures with like a giant Derrick Henry cutout.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. And Kyle Hamilton.
Game day theirs are really cool, man. They have a lot of different stuff you can do.
You said game days at M&T Bank?
Yeah, they do a great job until the game starts and they tell you to sit down.
Yeah.
Which I was watching that game and like everyone they're showing is standing up and it makes me just want to squeeze
whoever was around you.
Yes.
Maybe it's just the people that you happen to be sitting by.
Maybe it's just me.
It's definitely you. It's in part you.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson hasn't stayed with the same team for 2 consecutive seasons since basically the very beginning of his career.
Yeah, he's infamously a bleep hole.
Yeah. 2021 New Orleans, 22 Philly, 23 Detroit, 24 back to Philly.
Here? He had a visit here, didn't he? Or Rand was trying to sign him, I think.
Something like that.
He's only 27.
I don't know. At this point, just start bounty gating. Just hire just get everybody that's a jerk. Just go get a bunch of
he is
headhunters.
reputedly a jerk. So I don't think that's I think that's a commonality. He's a fine football player when you can get him to, kind of fall in line a little bit. Not to say that you have to get everybody to conform, but yeah, I've never covered him, obviously, but apparently he's a little bit of a problem child there. So anyway, Darrington has called us.
People, I just had an interesting football question. Just wanted to know who had a more interesting season so far. Would it be Indiana Jones or would it be Mr. The Claw? As in Duval? Which resurgence would be better right now? Because everybody automatically thought it was going to be Houston winning the AFC South, and it doesn't look like they're, because us keeping a buck, they're just about as ass as us. So I just want to figure out what would your take be about what's happening. I go back and listen. Let's go, Shador!
Thank you for the call, Darrington.
So was he asking who's better, the Jags or Colts?
Whose resurgence would be more impressive, Trevor Lawrence or Daniel Jones? Well, Trevor Lawrence hasn't had a resurgence. I'm still waiting for him to surge. Yes. That is yet to happen. Although, again, he was fine last night. The interception was not on him. It should have been a pass interference call against the Chiefs that the refs just egregiously missed.
He's had good stretches in his career.
And the last drive, so that throw, and credit to Brian Thomas Jr., who made a hell of a catch on the sideline that way to put them in scoring position. But, that last drive, darting them up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Trevor Lawrence has by no means been a bust. To call him a bust would be extreme. He has not lived up to the insanely lofty hype that was placed on him coming out. But, the guy had back-to-back 4,000-yard passing seasons. He's gotten his team into the postseason. He's won a playoff game. To call him
the Chargers lost a playoff game.
Sure, but a bust is Jamarcus Russell. That's an extreme thing
Traylon
to put on him.
By the way, how weird is that Traylon Burks thing? Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, I did. A rap sheet getting it wrong.
Well, he didn't get it. I think he got it premature. He may end up being right. But so Traylon Burks, what was the exact? Do you have the rap sheet tweet in front of you by chance?
Trying.
It might have been in the Twitter group. I'll see if I can find it quickly.
He said former Titans first-round pick Traylon Burks, who has been recovering from a broken collarbone since training camp. We saw it happen at the open practice at Nissan Stadium. Has been cleared for all football activities by Dr. Damon Petty, the Titans team physician. Rappaport says Burks was released from IR and can sign with anyone.
So he hasn't been released from IR.
Right.
And he can't sign with anyone yet. Now, Rappaport may be early on that, but people with the Titans immediately came into the media room where we're all waiting to go in and talk to Brian Callahan. I assume to get ahead of Brian Callahan having to answer Traylon Burks' questions unnecessarily, and was like, no, we have not done anything of the sort. That's directly from the agent. Maybe it happens, and I was, I think PK brought it up, is this something that you're saying is not going to happen? Then at 3 o'clock today it happens, and it didn't. So Traylon Burks is technically still on the team. Whether or not he's been completely cleared for football activities is a different story. But he's still an injured reserve. He has not been, there has been no designation. He cannot sign with anybody at this point. So we will see what happens there. I don't know, would you keep him, or is it just sunk cost? Let's, delaying the inevitable Caleb Farley type stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it's just going to suddenly happen for him, unfortunately.
Savior of the season, Traylon Burks.
For what it's worth on Traylon Burks' side, if you look his name up, there are no shortage of teams thinking that they can fix him.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw, what's the guy with he's like a blogger for the Packers. He's a really smart, like X's and O's football guy. It's like Mosqueda is the last name. Anyway, he was like tweeting this whole article about makes too much sense for the Packers to bring in Traylon Burks. I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child, do not do that.
You already have Traylon Burks. You have a bunch of guys who can't catch or stay healthy. Like, why would you want him?
Somebody in the NFL yesterday texted me that would be the most socially awkward wide receiver room in America.
Speaking of people tweeting things about current or former Titans players, Cam Ward getting a lot of love from Sunday.
This is a fine if you want it to be. I texted Dan Orlovsky his tweet because I just confused. Like, help me understand. And Dan's very busy right now. Like, maybe at some point we can get him on the show.
Cam Ward's tape is incredible. He's better than we thought. If the Titans do right with and around him, he will be a top 8 player at QB easily. Dan also just tweeted a few hours ago, for Titans fans, and since I'm not allowed to post video on here anymore, I'm not sure what that's about, he said, go watch the first quarter, 8:14, second quarter, 3:42. I guess that's the timestamps. Yeah, so 8:14 left in the first, 3:42 left in the second. He gives some timestamps of plays in the first and second quarter. He says some outstanding throws, and 3 to 4 are drops. It wasn't just the fourth quarter.
So I texted him yesterday a little before 3 in the afternoon and just out of curiosity, like, help me understand what you're seeing there, because obviously I don't see things as the way that former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky sees them. So I said, I wish I saw what you do, Dan. We were about to head into that press conference last night to ask Brian if they'd think about sitting him down until the fourth quarter, where he obviously kicked it into gear, and he looked like the number 1 overall pick. And Orlovsky said, no way, he's sensational, man, and then provided those same examples of what to watch to kind of take away something a little different than the naked eye or the untrained eye might see. I can't in good conscience say that anything that he did beyond, his job at the end was sensational. Like, it was cool, but he was not good for 3 quarters of that football game. Again, I defer to Dan Orlovsky, but I can't get on board with sensational.
I mean, that fourth quarter
was good.
I think it's more than his job. Like, I get that his job is to win games and all these things, but the throw to Ridley, both throws to Ridley, in those pressure moments, like, that's why you draft a guy number 1 overall.
Sure, but he's the number 1 overall pick, so like that's my baseline expectation that he can do that. Not, this guy's sensational, top 8 quarterback. If they do the right things around. I have no idea. I just know that he looked like hell for 3 quarters. 615. Oh, no point in giving out the number. We got polls, rapid fire.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What in sports made you say, oh no? Bruce says it's you, not knowing that in the NFL you are not down until you are touched.
I know the rule. I just saw it wrong.
You just misinterpreted it, would you say?
Misinterpreted it.
Bigger flop this season, Penn State or Texas? 61% say it's Texas. Fitz earlier said Penn State.
Yeah, because would Texas be fine if they were getting average level quarterback play? Probably.
I don't know, man. That offense just looks disjointed generally. A lot of that has to do with the quarterback, but
yeah, we don't know what he's supposed to be doing or what mistakes he's making that make the offense look worse than it otherwise would.
The quarterback's still part of the football team, and that football team had national championship expectations on them.
I saw a stat that said Penn State now has the same number of top 10 wins that UCLA has, with UCLA beating them. Is that true?
It's
Franklin
crazy.
has 1 top 10 win?
I can't remember what his exact number is, his record. It's been thrown around all over the place. But UCLA hasn't won a top 10 game since, I think, 2010, 2011.
Since the merger.
Yeah.
I just say that. I don't know when
I mean,
the last
that's
merger was.
applicable
That's kinda
now
what
to the
it
Big
is.
Ten, yeah.
We should start talking in those terms.
Yeah, since the merger.
Just refer to that as the merger. By the way, Texas running the football, 2 yards per carry, 52 rush yards against Florida.
Yeah,
that offense can't do anything right now.
Yeah, well, they don't respect the quarterback play. Like,
Vanderbilt
Arch's hype is the biggest reason that Texas is
for
a
sure.
flop.
Did Vanderbilt prove that they are college football playoff worthy at Alabama? 58% say no. Yeah, I agree. I think it's yes. They have to do it, obviously.
There's a lot more Tennessee fans that follow me, I guess. Those the polls. What, are you still eating a taco?
Yeah, that's it.
No, they messed our order up.
See you tomorrow.
Show's over. That means lunchtime. That means Hattie B's hot chicken. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to head straight to Midtown, but you can visit any one of their 7 Middle Tennessee locations, whether it's in West Nashville, in Franklin, or